All right, thanks, guys. We'll take you right through to the close. Welcome to a close for the Thursday afternoon of this week. Busy afternoon, to say the least. It's an Apple kind of afternoon, an all-time high Apple kind of afternoon. We'll touch on why here coming up in a few minutes. Yeah, that new IPO, SG, just an amazing movement so far. Both directions giving you that fade on the way back in. Otherwise, overall, the market's kind of muted for a Thursday afternoon. Let's have a look at where we are at here. Yeah, it's an Apple kind of day, as we were saying. So the NASDAQ leading 0.76 to the upside. The Dow still in negative territory. It's been there all day. We got down to about 0.2 at one point at the lows, but trying to get back to break even at this point. 0.25% there for the S&P, back in positive territory. 0.16 for the TSX here in Toronto. 0.5% for Brazil. Downside, yeah, crypto's still having a bit of a tough day, although they are off the lows right now, but it was almost 5% there for Ethereum at one point. Let's show you this board, see what is moving around so far this afternoon. Direct your attention over here, communication services. Twitter, the big one, 4% to the downside, 3.8% there for ATVI. A couple of days in a row to the downside. Match Group, Discovery A there as well. Consumer discretionary shares also. BBWI, 6% higher. Amazon with a huge day, 3.75%. GPS, 3%. Home Depot, Etsy among some of the leaders there to the downside, helping to offset the positivity up here. Wynn, Penn, and Caesars. All of the cruise lines here as well in negative territory, again, helping to offset any positivity coming out of this group. Shift down to the tech group. It's all about Nvidia today. Monster day for Nvidia, 7.8%, obviously all-time highs. Cisco, on the other hand, about the same, southbound, so offsetting. 7.1% right now for Cisco in negative territory. Yeah, I mentioned Apple there. We'll talk about Apple. Let's show you this real quick. Just to accentuate that point, 2.5% there for Apple. Cisco, the big one. Nvidia there. Look at Zoom. Yeah, almost 3% there for Zoom to the downside. Busy afternoon. Lots to discuss. There's this LGVN that keeps popping up on my volume screener here in front of me. There's that JWEL we were discussing a little bit on the morning show. If you joined us this morning, so many opportunities right across the board today. We're going to review a few of those that we discussed both in the pre-market and throughout the show this morning. It was all about the chip makers. It was all about Nvidia. It was all about AMD. But how can we avoid this stock, this SG that popped up here? It took almost the entire day to get this thing open, but once they finally figured it out and got this IPO going, man, was it ever a great trade. Sean's going to talk you through how he approached SG right now.
Hey guys, yeah, it's your trade of the day, and thank you for watching Sweet Green. I mean, look, we waited all day for this, could barely leave our desk. We had no idea when it was going to open, but when it did, it was hot fire. The price was going between, first started at $28. We saw it go to like 46 or 48 almost instantly. Then, I mean, it took them a while to get this updated. Then it went, I think, as high, maybe 55, something like that. And then it went back down to 54, settled around 51.75, and then bang, we finally get the open, and there it is right there. We took the opening print long. And for me, I mean, we've seen it too much. I've already, kicked myself over missing. I mean, we still had the trade, but not getting long, obviously, and holding in your own account. The last IPO, Rivian, was super hot fire. And then we also saw SEV come out with big results. So here we go. And this is what we did. Boom, right to the upside. I just want to tell everybody, 50% of this was out in this range, between 53.25, 53.50 up to about 54. So as I zoom in here, it's really just $2. So there's a long here off the open at 52, and then we just let it ride up, right? We let it settle down. It actually opened at 52 and took a couple minutes to get going. So unsure of what it was. That's why we have these couple outs here at 52.50, just throwing out a couple shares, right? This is the one thing when you're trading on a platform like ours, where you get super fast, lightning fast executions. You could see all of the time and sales going through over here. When that happens, we have the ability just to offer. So what I do is, for example, if this is 1,000 shares, I'll set my default to like 100. That way, when I push offer, enter, no matter what the price, it's only throwing out 100 shares. So that way you can get out all these little pieces when you get out on the way out, or back in. I didn't short it, but I did pay for shorts. I think it was about settled out around 13 to 20 cents per share if you did want this short on the Day Trade the World Network. Okay, look, here it is. So there it is. Nice volume. As you can see, volume died down. I've marked down here $50. Why? Because guess what? That's my stop. So right now we are long again. And let me just execute one more trade in here before we go. It did come back down. So look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Big sell volume in. People taking profits. Of course they are, right? We didn't get out at the very top 55. I now have an offer sitting here around $55, $56. We'll see if we pull it, if it comes to that, but I'm looking to get out the last piece. As it falls back down, let's just say you missed the IPO, okay? As it falls back down, I take it again, the same price. A 52 break, we take it again. And then when that happens, there it is there. We get out at 53. So we're just taking the dollar, right? The maximum move here, forget about this being blown out. I think the maximum move was about a 54, 50, something like that I think was a good out if you're able to take that. Of course, you get blown out to the upside. But there it is. We take it again. We take the dollar. So now we've taken multiple dollars out of this stock. I'm holding about 10%. It's about 5 to 10% of this last position here. And of course, we retook it right there. So we'll wait to see if it breaks 50. Otherwise, you're going back to the upside. This is sweet green. Pretty sweet trade. Obviously, could have been more maximized at the top, but we'll make that every single time. We're topping up the net on today. Sweet green. Let's see what happens the rest of the day here. Could be a runner tomorrow as well.
Yeah, it's a runner for sure this afternoon, but interesting to see as I was listening to Sean there, the volume already kind of taper off. It's seeming to find a bit of a range, a little bit of support, a little bit of resistance, so we'll keep an eye on SG as we work our way into the final couple of hours here. Left in the day, guys, lots of headlines to discuss. There was lots of headlines if you joined us pre-market at 8:30 this morning. That is the link for the watch list if you need it. Watchlist.tradertv.live, absolutely free to you every single morning. Lots, as I said, to get through. Let's jump right into a few things. This was about midday today. We had the Bloomberg report. Apple, yeah, their electric car could be on the road as soon as 2025, according to the new head of development for Apple Car from Apple today. So Apple at all-time highs. We're going to get into that. There it is, Salad Chain Sweet Green. $5.5 billion valuation on open there for this thing. We're trading back around that area, so an interesting look. And one more to pass along here. There was a Barclays report out today suggesting this whole GOP legalization thing for cannabis in the U.S. is still a long ways out. In fact, they were suggesting that it's not going to happen under the Biden administration. So lots of different angles we can approach this afternoon with. Let's jump right into things here. We'll bring in Neil. First off, Neil, $5.5 billion, let me say that again, valuation for Sweet Green on open today. What a trade that was.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll go back. We can go back there because it's been an unbelievable one. The only question I'm asking myself right now is, am I going to short 50? And I haven't really decided yet because, you know, with anytime you get a move like this, the first thing you got to think about is like, come on, like that's a lot. And then you go back and you think about the last typed IPO, and that, I mean, I guess it wasn't that long ago. It was Rivian, and of course it's gonna not oblige here as I try to load it up there on the 15-minute, but Rivian actually on the first day had a similar profile. It was a jam to the upside. In Rivian's case, I didn't get it. I had to drop my daughter off, or I had to pick my daughter up from school, so I made the initial trade and didn't hold on to anything, jetted out and went to 120. But it broke the low and gave you a 105 all the way down to 95 trade. As great as Rivian was, that's the move that it put in. So when I look at SG here, which quite frankly, keep in mind, we live in Canada, so I'll tell you right now, I have no idea. I've never even heard of, like, I didn't know Sweet Green. And I guess we were learning about it here today. So people are comparing it to Chipotle. I mean, Chipotle is literally like the best publicly traded restaurant company out there, but I think that's probably saying a bit much. So when I see a valuation like this, that buy and balance just so gigantic, I say to myself, profile similar, a breakout, it goes like 10%, was fortunate enough to get the top. I did hold some, and then thought it would maybe break back above VWAP. It couldn't, so I covered at 53. I'm now flat on the, now out of the trade, sorry. And I added to this thing. It opened at 52, but once it held the low, I just got back into more shares and doubled up the position on the way back up. And I'm thinking about 50 breakdown. It's just looking at what happened with Rivian, it was a great trade when it took that low. So I think it's one of those that you almost can't ignore. The price of the locates was even all over the place as we were waiting for it. It was like 2 cents, then it was 37 cents. Apologies to the trader day trader world who I happen to know who paid that higher price, and 5 minutes later it was right back down to 5 cents a share. I hope he's not watching. I don't mean to laugh at it, but it's like
he is watching.
Literally somebody in the same office paid like 2 or 3 cents a share, and then 15 minutes later.
And if you're watching, you're supposed to owe me money.
He does.
Because the NASDAQ.
Yes.
Because the NASDAQ didn't crash. We had a bet, a former trader on our floor. We love him. And the thing about it is,
I witnessed that bet, by the way. I witnessed that.
I actually forgive that bet. Why? Because you remember when he left, what did we have? Lobster,
oh my goodness,
crab.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell else it was, but I forgive that bet. But
when these guys opened their own floor, they traded on our office floor. It was a going away party that was unbelievable. They just treated the entire floor, which is amazing. And they're great guys and unbelievable traders, and their office is going to blow up. So anyways, 50 short I think should be interesting.
Blow up in the right way.
Yeah.
Because when you blow up your net, that's not good.
You're right, because I guess there's another way that you can blow things up. You guys know what we're talking about. I think they're going to be very successful. Apple was the other thing that happened. It just broke the high again, by the way. So 158 is now come and gone. There was some pressure. Well, there is some pressure. Obviously, it didn't matter where you went. You could have gone to Rivian. You could have gone to Lucid. You could have gone to SEV for the short side of the tray when that news came out. I mean, Tesla, I guess, even moved to the downside. I shorted Lucid to the downside, and then bought Rivian in front of 120 for a long trade, which I'm now out of, by the way. But there were lots of ways you could play the Apple news. I just thought it'd be more volatile on the other EV names as opposed to Apple pushing hard. I thought there'd be bigger moves, which I think it was about right with Rivian and Lucid.
For Tesla, it's Apple time for. They were talking autonomous as well right out of the gate, which it's Apple, so why not? Let's shift gears here a little bit. We'll talk weed, guys, because this kind of hurt today for some of these. Barkley comes out talking about, this whole GOP thing, as we were saying, the Republican-led bill. Probably you're not going to see this under the Biden administration, at least, according to Barkley's today. So I just pulled up Tilray real quick. They all look like this. About 13%, guys. We're right at day lows on heavy volume as well for Tilray.
So I'll be candid about something, because this is true, right, Sean? Like, when we're waiting for an IPO like this, your focus is on, at any moment, you're taking the opening print, and you don't know when it's going to open. So we're glued to one stock. Candidly, that's what a day trader has to do. So I'm not even going to lie. We missed out on a lot of things while that was happening, and certainly Tilray's on a bottom right now, and I think, realistically, it's down 13% today. If you were bottom picking, this is about like the risk to reward. It's barcoding 5 or 6 cents. There's no volume on it, by the way, but it's barcoding 5 or 6 cents. So there might be something there, as it really has tapered off. Like, you don't see something like this have this much lack of movement. I think part of it might have to do with EVs moving like crazy and SG opening back up. And when that slows down, maybe people will pay back attention here and think that they can bottom pick on something like a Tilray. But absolutely got woodshedded this morning. And this is about as good a consolidation as you're likely to find if you happen to be hunting for something like that.
Like, honestly, Joe Biden, like, come on. Like, this is, I like that graphic. I'm a little fed up I'm a little fed up with all this, because, like, as I said before, the catalyst to the upside, and I got my father in this. Thank God he got out. I was talking about it with him this weekend, and I forgot to check back on him. He actually made a lot of money. And we were talking about buying this thing as election time came through, right? On Tilray, on Grow Generation Brands. We talked about that as I forget her name, the VP, Kamala Harris, there was talking all about marijuana and getting it legalized and everything. And then now all of a sudden, as soon as they take a seat in said house, the White House, they're no longer interested in doing this. Like, give me a break. At least we mentioned the other day that I was not buying any more of this. I mean, I've been holding the bag now for 5 years or whatever it's been on this. We made some money on cannabis. I mean, getting in early and getting out is no problem. But if you bought these stocks in the last X amount of years, like 3 years, you're probably out of the money, and out of the money significant, unless, of course, you were scalping it out. And I think that right now, I mean, they said, I didn't even know this story. So like Neil mentioned there, we had too much on our mind today, including PayPal. We'll get to that, including crypto. That's been nuts right there. Someone asked if I'm buying more ADA. I didn't get filled. I was bidding 168. I can check. I don't think it went down that low. I think it went to 172 or 173. But long story short, which I tend to do all the time, make them even longer, is that I don't think any of these are a buy. I mean, we're going to have to wait now, I guess, until President Trump 2024. If he runs again, maybe you'll get some talk. I guess the Republicans will push it no matter who is going to be elected. I think that's going to be, or who their nomination is going to be. I think that'll be some nice rhetoric for that. But that's a little while away, man. So you don't get talk about it again until 2023, I guess. You just got to let these things bleed down. I can't buy it. If I were to buy anything, we talked about growth generation brands. I don't even want to see. I mean, I'm not in any of these. I'm only in Canopy, Tilray, and a couple other really crappy ones that I don't even remember the names of them anymore. What am I doing? GRWG. This is how upset I am. Isn't that what it is? GRWG NASDAQ. I even had New York. Yeah, down to $19. I mean, these stocks can't get out of their own way here. And if you type it in once, you're screwed to the long side. So here, we'll check out the chart one more time. But I don't mind growth generation brands. Just, again, down 7%. Look at this. Just absolute tank city here, breaking these lows. Really nowhere to go here. Okay, what just happened to SG? SG breaks, and I actually didn't get the short there on the break. So we got out of our position.
I got it.
But, okay, go ahead.
Shoot, I wasn't even on the stock there. Apologies. I mean, I was looking at load. I mean, I'm in it. I got 49. What price I get? I had a couple of orders. Thank goodness. Yeah, this one.
I think that's a one.
I had a couple of orders because I wanted to take more shares. So I put 2 stops in. One aggressive, like much more aggressive, down to 50, and the other one was at 75. Because I'm like, okay, well, if it goes too far and I don't want to miss it completely, but if it's a good tight one, I can take more shares and get a good price. I hope that makes sense. So you do see me with 2 entry points there. I immediately got some out in front and behind 48. And again, remember like what the whole theory was. Like, if you're gonna tell me that Rivian, which everybody in the world was waiting for and excited about, was going to open up, go to the upside, and then take out the low, of course the short's gonna do the same. Like Rivian took out the bottom and then went from 105 to 95. That was 10%. So I would expect we could see $45 on this thing, and that's why you got to play it both directions.
Ooh, a little spicy there. We got that short as well. We didn't get the short on the way down, on the way down as it broke. We just took it against ourselves there on the way back up. So that's the out there. Here's the short. We cover for the smooth dollar or more than that. And then it just hit 46 down there. Okay, we'll see where we go now, but there goes Sweet Green. I mean, you saw me talk about that on the whatever it was called, the trade of the day, that's what it's called. We talked about that, and I said this is still gonna be in play. There's no telling where this thing's gonna go from now. Obviously, I don't know if it was oversubscribed or not, but they got a big bid. They were looking for $28 yesterday, okay? Today it opens up, we've already talked about this, 52. I mean, I'm so happy. It's amazing.
46, baby. It's going to 45. Like,
I don't even have a bid out. So.
Rivian's the equivalent to Rivian, which was way more hyped. Well, I took some out at 46, and I'll cover 45s. Like, I wanted 10%. Rivian gave you 10% when it broke that bottom, and I think there's no way Sweet Green, which, like I said, I had never heard of before today, the same 10% move would be in play. It also just kind of happens to be a $5 move, essentially almost from the upside, like 52 to 56. But the bottom that it put in, I have a wick to 50, but as you saw, realistically 51 was that low. So that was $5 bottom to top. Then the break down to 45 gives you $5. I love the symmetry of things like that. So it's a Sweet Green kind of day. Someone put in the chat there. I'm only saying this because every time cannabis comes up
right now. Go, keep talking.
I was just saying, every time cannabis comes up, I make a comment about Sundial. Someone's like, thoughts on Sundial? Well, if we don't think it's a good idea to buy something like Tilray or Canopy, then it's probably a good time not to be buying Sundial as well on that news.
It's just funny because the whole point of this 2 o'clock show is that we actually don't do what we're doing right now. Talk about our active positions.
Oh, yeah,
I think so, because we're supposed to go over a few. And with that being said, I see there's a lot of. No, it's not to you. It's to both of us.
But it's true.
And it was more about the question and answer here. What was that called? Oh yeah, the chat. We will talk about PayPal, but I think we'll get to that in a minute. So I will discuss PayPal, but right now we were just talking about SG and how that's going. I'm going to hold this, man. That very bottom was 46. let's see where we go from here, man. We're already monstrous on SG Sweet Green today, so let's see if they give it up again one more time and make a move to the downside. We'll see, man. If this, what am I short? I'm short 48.76. So if this cracks below, I mean, I wish we had got short 50 there. We didn't. We missed. We get out at 49, but it crosses down way too aggressively. So then we had to take that at 48 and change. So now we'll wait to see if it goes back to the downside. That is Sweet Green, Brendan.
Let's talk, guys, about shorting stocks. And more specifically, let's talk about one of the more prominent short sellers that has recently discussed exiting some very, very popular and very, very public short positions. And I'm talking about Michael Burry from The Big Short, obviously. We've talked about it numerous times. He came out recently. There's a whole bunch of articles. You can find a ton of them on the internet if you'd like to, discussing ARK, discussing Tesla, and discussing Alphabet, Google's parent Alphabet, short positions in all three of those now exited, including a very, very large put position on Cathie Wood's ARK ETF, the main one. Let's jump right into things here because this is, I mean, it's a new story, but it's also an old story because Michael Burry tries and he tries again. He's had one big hit, obviously, with the housing crisis, but these guys definitely not working out in his favor.
So the thing about it is, and you know, when you talk about something like the housing crisis, like everyone knows the Black Swan by Nassim Taleb, who's I think he's brilliant. And the truth of the matter is, those are like a black swan's a black swan for a reason because you don't see it coming. So the notion that somebody who obviously did the work and was able to dig out something that nobody could see coming that was so systemically big. The notion that you'd hit that twice, it's very unlikely. And look, I am willing to give full credit to what it was an unbelievable story for Michael Burry. And again, trying to find lightning striking twice is a difficult thing to do. What I will say about this, you guys see me on the live show day trade short a lot of times here. Ultimately, when it comes to ARK at least. You know, given the nature of you know, Cathie Wood and how active she is, always looking to buy value where people are afraid of growth, that's a play that I'm not sure wasn't even that bad of a concept there. What's interesting to me is that like just abandoning everything right away. Like everyone knows Tesla was maybe a bit of a different story for him because he probably lost money on those puts in Tesla. But the ARK thesis, at least from the standpoint of where rates were going and certainly the momentum in the market slowing down, I can see why that got put on. It's just interesting to just pull the plug there. I'm not sure what that means. It feels like it was a bit much. It was certainly interesting. There were a few names that we'll maybe get into that we didn't know about. Everyone talked about that Tesla play. I think it's always disciplined if you're willing to accept that, hey, this is it, we'll give it up, I'm out of it. And also, candidly, if you're going to be playing something like a Tesla to the short side, doing it in options probably makes a heck of a lot more sense to be able to control your losses. So I'll give some credit there as well. But obviously, this is it's an interesting thing that you would give up that so easily, I think, or so suddenly is a better way to think about it.
I don't know. I mean, you guys all know my opinion on Michael Burry and the things that he says. I mean, shorting, you know, calling crypto a short, you know, what, 100% ago. So, I mean, that's not that. And then what about, he closed his trade for the quarter. So when do you normally close your trades? Every quarter, right? Shouldn't it be October 31st? I'm not sure when the quarter ends, but what was that? Yeah, the third Friday. No, I know that, but I'm just wondering when is he closing? He said for the quarter is now closed. So the point is that, so what? He was shorting all of this? And then where exactly did he close it? I mean, I just find that without some more information, I don't know whether to give this guy respect or not. We do know that he's long CVS. There's a few other names in that article that he's going to be long, and CVS seems to be working. But again, until we know more details about it, I know he had a great trade on GME, did some work on that as well. Got out of that way too early. Obviously, we actually had a video on that trade for him as well. But I don't know what to say here, Brendan, other than the fact that I don't follow Michael Burry, and I don't think anybody really should. I think it's very, very important to know your own book, trade your own methodology, and go from there. Because if I don't understand something, then I can't really follow it. And I really don't understand the Tesla short. I mean, I understand it once it goes parabolic like this on the daily chart. But, before then, I mean, this thing is just ripping faces off all year. So I get why to short it. But, I mean, I would never know where to cover. And quite frankly, I don't believe he made money on that position.
One of the most interesting parts of that article that I found as well, the long side, he actually comes out with not only a few long ideas, but a few long positions. We're obviously focusing on the short side of things, but interesting. It was bound to happen, you feel. But finally, Michael Burry exiting Tesla, Google, Alphabet, and also the main ARK ETF on the put side, guys. Let's continue along with some talk this afternoon about what's moving around. If you joined us at 8:30 this morning, it was all about the chip makers and specifically about Nvidia. What a report for Nvidia, up right across the board on all numbers. The forecast was great. Ends up being an interesting trade, but you had to be a little bit patient here, guys.
Which trade was that? Rivian?
Nvidia.
We're not even paying attention. NVDA here. So, yeah, look. All right, we love the quarter. It was on our watch list today. We only have one trade on Nvidia, and to me, it was really simple. And I think that's to your point there about being patient, waiting for it to go. We had to be patient here. If you look at this trade, for me, we waited for this 316 to come through. We actually tweeted out that we liked 312. It's actually funny because 312 is the right spot there. Didn't take it again. It just been with Sweet Green and a whole bunch of other things happening. And we welcome you back to the show. I mean, it's really fun to do the afternoon where we can sort of go back and look, and maybe we made mistakes getting in, getting out, things like that. Always good to review your trades. I got out of Sweet Green, by the way. It went back up through 50. So the short, I was actually 1-1 there. So not as good as I had hoped. But okay, so just more talk about Nvidia here. It goes back to the pre-market low of 316. For me, that was a screaming buy, so we did it twice there, and then defended it one. So we bought first 317, then bought 316.50 or something. My out was going to be 315, so 315. That didn't come into play. Then we take it out 320, then we get the big one at 325 out. It does rip to 328. New all-time highs, but we bounced around a little bit there, creating me an opportunity to get out. The thing is, when Apple came out with that news about the electric car, the market kind of started acting a little funny and started to go southbound there as money flowed into Apple and out of everything else, it seemed like, which of course makes the NASDAQ and the other indexes go southbound, right? So even though NASDAQ is the highest weight as Apple, we're talking about Nvidia here. I think that they are the metaverse. I don't really care about Facebook. I mean, I'm long Facebook, love the name, and I know they're changing it to Meta. But every single thing you're going to touch pretty soon is going to have some sort of a chip in it. And Nvidia is leading the way with their GPU processing, how that works, their upscaling, everything like that. I mean, if you just read the report, they beat everywhere. I love Nvidia. May not be at this price. I was going to load the boat up, honestly, on open. Like, I logged in this morning and was trying to buy these 312s. Didn't get it because I couldn't execute before 8 o'clock. And then we started getting ready for the show. But I don't know, a little bit of a drop down here anywhere on Nvidia. I'm a buyer at basically any movement down. I'm a little nervous now about the NASDAQ. Not today. I mean, we're up 0.69. But it's hard to buy a name that's up 7-8%, even if you do like it. I think there is a chance to pull back a little bit. Still hella long AMD and Nvidia, but like both of these names.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that someone asked about why Taiwan Semiconductor in the morning chat was moving so much, and then Nvidia using TMC and Samsung. One of the other plays today, I mean, in the morning, I like to dip buy as well. If you were watching the morning show, you kind of know I was hunting an SEV trade at that particular time, which ended up working out, but it was a bit of a bungle. But the other name that had news sort of related to it was Global Foundries, which was also making a big move to the upside. Now, money got sucked out of that one at the open. The partnership with Ford drove it to 69. It's still well up on the session. It actually broke at one point all-time highs. But that's another name that I think, when you start considering the other end of the chip game, which is the fabs, they need to be built. And the suppliers, you have AMAT, which is a potential to break a 160 level coming up, and that's a big one, is a semi-supplier. Now, you look at the fab plays as well, and Global Foundries is one. They don't make money yet, but the truth of the matter is they got the right clients, and I think they're going to be a great long-term buy. Now, I missed the boat. Despite loving this one, I missed the boat twice on it. I'm kicking myself. Sometimes you just got to dip in if you like it. Don't wait around thinking, okay, IPOs have been coming back and giving you better prices. Ignore all that stuff. And I remember, and you know what? I blame almost all of it on the experience of Coinbase, because like sometimes it's that recency bias that gets you. And the recency bias with Coinbase was that all you had to do was wait. And in this particular case, it burns me. Should have just said forget it, get a 20% position in, or 10% or 25, whatever you're comfortable with at the open, and then be willing to buy the dips in that case. I actually got back into SG, by the way, just to update our current positions, because why not? And I reloaded here around that 50 level. I'm going to give it to 51. I have a very aggressive stop. I thought we could get that 45. Looks like we got only 46. I did take out just about all of it, but I liked the reload. We're going to get out of it here, take our first hit there. We actually got slipped all the way to like 51.35. So give a little bit back there.
That's a good
worked for
statement.
both
You know,
ways.
it went 52
It went to 52
on the offer.
I've been saying this, man.
There's no liquidity.
But the fills that we've been getting on the direct edge stops, like they're really good. Like they're using like an edge A stop there. Sometimes I'll use a NASDAQ scan for the routing key. And they've been, just on fire today. Like I was getting good fills on Rivian when it would break. I was getting good fills on SEV. And those are not the most liquid stocks when they get going. It's got a good fill in SG. You just saw it pop all the way up to like 52 on that move. And I'm only getting slipped 25 to 30 cents there. Like I'll take that all day, every day, because you missed that print. And it's like an extra 50 pennies, man. That adds up over time.
By the way, Rob looking sharp now. You got the man bun going on there. I like that. I like that look, the man bun. Good job there, Rob. Brendan, what's next on the docket here?
Man, that SG is like $10 range, top to bottom, right back, or 50%, halfway back. I wanted to talk about some of the semiconductors, but I just saw Rivian here trying to bounce, guys. So we'll maybe jump into this as well, because this was the headline this morning. Could be 15 billion in value wiped off the plate. I believe it was around 150 on the way up when it surpassed Volkswagen, and then obviously back through on the way down for Rivian. But the unwind continues, guys, for these crazy EV stocks.
I'm trying to find. Go ahead. No, I'm trying to find what day I wrote down here. Oh, it was yesterday and the day before. Like too far, you can't see it, but it's the sticky note. It doesn't matter. It's too far, too fast. Short Rivian, short Rivian. It's now 3 days in a row we've talked about this short. So I don't think it should take anybody by surprise. Obviously, the Apple news accelerates the Rivian short today.
You can't know that was coming. That's the thing.
You knew that. No, you can't know today it's coming.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Apple's coming to destroy every single person out there. So get ready. And I put it in the chat.
Amazon and Google are going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe. They're not attacking those guys.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like
Right. The minute Apple starts opening something like an Amazon, then you got a problem. But, okay, the point is here, I put it in the chat, and I said the king is in the building, right? And the minute Apple does anything, you're going to have a problem. They started doing something. Remember, sorry, it's AAPL. You got to know the symbol if you're going to talk about it. It's back to all-time highs right now, 157, 158, and still marching here. Barcoding a little bit, but there's the actionable event. No matter what you think about Apple, you don't have to like their products. You don't have to own their products, but you should own their stock. I got some out at 152 and didn't buy any back in, and now I'm kicking myself for that. But it's still a top 3 holding of mine. Apple will continue to work to the upside, and it's not about talking your own book. Honestly, Apple Watch comes out, boom. What happens? This is when Fitbit was around. Fitbit stock tank. They come out and they say they're starting to put exercise requirements, or whatever the heck it was, on their watch as well. Peloton, downside, right? They're going to start releasing stuff about a metaverse probably, and maybe doing something like a new Oculus. I don't think this is not, I'm just talking. I don't think
every big company is going to be involved in metaverse.
Microsoft down when that starts to happen, right? And so I don't think it's any surprise today that Rivian, Lucid, Fisker, they're all going to take a seat because Apple is in the building. And I think this gives all of us a good opportunity to buy, because there's always going to be more than one winner in everything. And you don't need to be the king to win, But Rivian today, obviously here it is when it comes out. You see the sell side start to go. So we were cruising around 128. Now you're back down to 120. And to be honest with you, man, this is almost, if you... I felt bad, just like you mentioned Global Foundries. I wanted to get Rivian on IPO. this is pretty damn close. I mean, you IPO'd at 107. You're down to 120 right now on Rivian. I think this is a good opportunity to get some Rivian if you like it here. Get some exposure. We're already heavily exposed because, again, Amazon's one of the top holdings of my own as well. And Ford was, but we've been pairing that off. So have some exposure in those spots too.
That's my whole thing with, it was the same thing when, not that I really even wanted DD that much, but I wouldn't have considered it because I owned Uber shares. It's just like, sometimes you don't need to add more to it, and I'm an Amazon fan if you can't figure it out. Like I said with Rivian, there's a couple of things. Like one, I made a mistake today. I went on a rant about it on the Memes and Movers show. Like this looks pretty okay, being short at the 135 break and then being short at the 130 break. But what actually happened, if you go to the 1 minute chart, is when I took the second short at 130, I then anchored myself to this price, right? And instead of understanding the trend or going back and looking at 132 VWAP at that time, that last dip price for that next breakout, like using this range here should have been the way to structure that short. But because I had anchored myself to the new entry price and looking at 130 in my blotter, I ended up stopping out at break even, not wanting this thing to turn green on me. And that was obviously a huge mistake because there was no reason to get out of that trade. It then retested, went to 131, didn't even touch 132, eventually got to the 125 target in the morning show, which I was saying should be the bottom, 135 to 125. So that hit perfectly, a double bottom there. And then, of course, I mean, the Apple news essentially broke, and then you took out that 125 low, headed to 120 where we got a long trade that worked out. And the only reason I wasn't short Rivian when the Apple news broke was because to be honest, I just had a level 2 up on Lucid, right? So if I had a Rivian level 2 up at the particular time, I probably would have just hit that short, but it ended up being Lucid that I took to the short side and did not hold it, which was again probably a mistake. Sometimes you get out on flash news and would just want to take whatever price you can get. All of them, I mean, you could look at probably SEV at that particular time. You could look at Tesla at the exact same moment. And if you're not watching one of those stocks, it's always a good idea to have an understanding of what related in a sector is your go-to, okay? Like, if this move, I'm going over here. Like, when that Apple news dropped, if you took too long to understand what it is that you wanted to play, if it was an Apple long, was it Tesla, Rivian, Lucid short, sometimes you want to have an understanding of the different names in a sector and which one is going to be your go-to in a spot like that. Maybe you just wanted to go to like Workhorse. I have no idea what happened to that stock, but whatever you're comfortable with, it just makes it a little bit easier for you to make an active trade in the heat of the moment when a headline drops.
All right, talking about sectors, the retail group has been crazy strong all week long with some earnings coming from that. We're going to get to some retail stocks here. I want to talk about Clover as well because if you missed it this morning, this was the news that sent this thing to. Is it all-time lows now, guys, for Clover? Pretty
Probably.
must be. It must be close, anyways. But yeah, 300 million in stock offering. Before we talk about that, though, I want to get your opinion on this because I just saw somebody on Twitter talking about Apple and this Apple car and suggesting if this is Apple and being Apple, every year they come out with a new iPhone, the typical lifespan of the model of a car is what, 3 to 5 years kind of thing before they change the body style, they update the looks of the car, they change the technology involved. Do you get a new Apple car every single year?
Kind of a stupid. If I was following a guy on Twitter that said that would be almost a block or something like that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
No.
What do you mean? You ever heard of Tesla?
No.
I mean,
like
Tesla car.
What are we talking about here?
I mean, they do adjust it. It makes it look, somewhat
software upgrades.
different.
Yes.
But I mean, the Tesla Model S or whatever, and again, or Model 3. I don't know. I don't know if they've changed too dramatically going forward. I can't believe Brendan thinks that.
No, it's just like, look, Apple's going to, like, it's new for them. They will adjust to what is somewhat of the norm. Of course,
it's
we'll
not
have
a
an Apple
phone.
spin on it.
Sure. The reason why you upgrade your phone and stuff like that, I mean, because probably you're crazy. You don't need to upgrade every year. I think the upgrade cycle on a phone is about every 3 years. You can find it out on AT&T's website or even Apple's website. They tell you when the next upgrade cycle is. Most people upgrading now because of 5G. Like if you have an iPhone 10 or something like that, you're not on the 5G network. So you may have upgraded for that. You may have upgraded for the different camera features, things like that. But as far as the car is concerned, look, I mean, could you buy a new one every year? Sure. I just, for me, I don't think, and I'm not in the car business, but I don't think that they go ahead and drastically change the model of the car to where the point that you need to. My only worry would be, of course, the maintenance and things like that.
True.
And I mean,
I think what they personally should have tweeted would be more reasonable. Would say you might have more frequent software updates than maybe other comparable vehicles. You might actually be replacing a little bit more frequently. But to say that it will be like the phone every single year, which I mean, does everyone even do with their phone every single year? I don't know that everybody does, but it's certainly possible. I don't because I'm an old head. But I just think that's a little bit. It's extreme, I suppose. Sometimes people say extreme things to make a somewhat valid point, right?
Like it's not literally a new car.
It was just making a point.
It's interesting, guys, in the sense that if you consider the amount of tech, just the tech that will be in this car, that is something that could be updated, on a regular basis.
Remotely, though.
But I think constant software upgrades are going to be the way we go. Like we're going to have autonomous driving. You will be updating your software all the time for that. Like it's just that's going to be the new reality. I think you see that borne out with Tesla.
People saying about 4 years, about every model change, about every. This is from Anam, I guess, or Anam there. And again, maybe somebody in the car area. If there's
like
anybody
3 to
here
5
that works
years,
for. Yeah, I mean exactly, and I think when I said buy remotely, I think it could just be it'll obviously have a Wi-Fi connection there. You attach it to your phone, a hotspot, whatever. It'll have a chip in it anyways. You could just connect your provider to the car, I guess, and grab the software update that way. Or I don't know how it's going to go, but those of you that own Teslas would know about software updates happening all the time, and especially if it's going to be an autonomous driving. I mean, you're going to have to update maps. You're going to have to update as far as that goes, everything. I mean, you may get updates weekly for that. So I don't know. Look, I think it's cool. I'm more interested, Brendan, and I don't think there was anything in that article, but I thought it was was it Kia or I forget.
It was one of those.
It was one of those. Like it wasn't a major because Kia, I think, is what, partly owned or wholly owned by GM or something.
I don't think it. Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. We'll find it out. But they're partnering with somebody to get this car done. And of course, we also know about the other factors, LiDAR, things like that, like who they're doing that business with, MVIS and things like that. So lots of interesting things to come, obviously, on that Apple story.
Yeah, it was interesting to see those stocks pop up on that headline today as well. LIDR, VLDR even was moving around. Macy's, let's go to the retail group. I promised we would talk about this. So next week, if you didn't check a calendar recently, is U.S. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, followed by Cyber Monday, which immediately when you wake up the next day is already Christmas. So it's the holiday season, guys. It's holiday shopping season. Macy's with earnings today, huge move. This group has been very, very strong all week.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I got into Macy's and then I flat out gave up on this trade because SEV was happening. And SEV, weirdly enough, SEV will be my number 2 stock today, despite having abject failure at the open initially, and I'll show you that in a minute. But that's the only excuse for what happened in Macy's, where the entire notion of me taking the break, because I like this 35, and let's just start with the higher time frame here, because you were already gapping up and breaking out, and this is what we're looking at in the daily chart. You got air up there, and we were looking at a 35 level in the pre-market just for this, right? So you anticipate if it's a fail break. At the open, I like to hunt for that rollover fail break short, right? So if I find myself in a long, even if I don't want to short the stock, to me it's a cover in that situation because that's that whole short setup into the support level. So even though I don't want the short, it's a cover of the long, and then you're looking to buy the dip and that in that price. So the opening range here, so the pre-market range here would have been the higher low at 33.5, and then this 35 top. So obviously I'm going to miss out, and when it bounces off 33.5, and I'm not going to get this 34 breakout with a stop down here. It just, it didn't happen because I was looking at SEV at that particular time. Now always remember that Macy's in particular has a 15%, I want to say 15% short interest. Guys, check me on that if I'm wrong. I know it was up over 20 at one point, and so it does have these extended moves to the upside when it does report very well. I think at some point it's going to be fadeable. Maybe this quadruple top here at 38 provides an opportunity going into the close, or you're waiting for $40 or something along those lines. But this is a clear case of I liked it initially. It didn't work on the break. I didn't do the dip buy because, quite frankly, someone was asking about SEV in the chat. SEV, when we came in today, we were here early, and it was SEV gapped up to $50, right? And it had already sold off from 50 down to 38. and then it was consolidating here at 42. And this is when we came on, I was just like, this thing pops to 50. It is the ultimate like pop and fade, failing at 50. And I did not get this trade because it happened. I'm always looking for it at 9:30. I hate that trade from 9:25 to 9:30. It happened at the top here, right at 9:25. It then dropped. It did the pop at 9:30, but because I was wanting the $50 price range, I shorted it here. Did not have enough faith. Like I didn't want to hold 46 to 50. So I got out of it and never got back in. And it was a gigantic mistake. Once it took out this 40 level, I tried going long off that 39 support. Once that was gone, I knew exactly what I wanted. I was looking at this range right here, that 38 level, up into 42. And when I got it the second time, I said I wasn't willing to give it the $4 range, the entirety of that range the first time. That was a mistake. I wasn't going to make the same mistake again. I was just going to get my full position on and say I'm either losing $3 to $4 on the trade, or it's flushing. And it did flush, but ultimately it is a failure for me because I have to capture one of these two trades. If that's what I'm looking for when I sit down, there's really not much of an excuse not to have had SEV down there. I do think at some point this might be worth a bit of a buy, but let's be honest, the IPO, they're not producing anything until mid next year. The IPO was about hype. We said this yesterday. It just happened to be EV last 2 weeks. They came out at the right time. This is like solar panel powered vehicles, which to me makes a heck of a lot more sense when 80% of the world is autonomous, more sense than it makes now. So I'm not sure how viable it is. I even said that when I tweeted in the morning about it, that I'm not sure how viable this is, but they're coming out at the right time. And that's just all it is, guys. They're coming out at the right time. I don't think it's a buy. I think maybe if it retests that $20 price, you might be able to pick something up. And then this Apple news, I mean, obviously, we said it. This should have been the stock to go short on. Not even Rivian. This was a better stock to short when the Apple news came out, and that's being borne out because I think since the Apple news came, it's like $5 down on a $33 stock, and Rivian went a couple of bucks.
Yeah. Just quickly here, Dominic, thanks for the super chat. Long Everon halted again here, up to $7-8. Just right up here, so we can see LGVN right now halted one more time. And we did take, while that was happening, I noticed Nvidia. I see all you guys in the chat as well. I absolutely miss. I mean, the real trade on Nvidia would have been this 316 break again. That's the level that we like. We missed that. It goes all the way up to 318. That's a smooth $2 there. But we just punch a small ticket long at where we are now, 317.80. We'll see if it goes. We'll average this back down. And then honestly, I'm going to get out if it breaks the bottom here. So that's 315. 313 basically. If we break down through 313, then we'll get out of this trade. So I like this for now. A couple more averages in until back till 313. If I like Nvidia this morning, I gotta like it now. Nothing's changed. We'll see if we can defend some of these bottoms. I think Nvidia wins. I'm just a little nervous that it's up a little bit too much. A little too much smoke today for Nvidia. So we'll wait to see where it goes. But long here, long all the way back, man. I mean, the next position we'll take is 16s that we like, and then we'll look at it down here again and find a spot if it does come back down. But we're bidding 16 right now with a stop order at basically a 313. Flat. I mean, I didn't put the stop order in yet. I'll put it in a minute. 313 flat or so right there. So that's what we're looking at. We're excited, man. It's been a big day for us, and it's going to continue to hopefully get even bigger and badder. When we're ready, I can discuss Palantir. Oh, LGVN right there, whoops, does open. So a nice trade here as we go to the high of the day now on LGVN, trying to break that 880, guys. If you're long anywhere down here, take some out now, and then you can beat me up later if this does go even higher, but nothing wrong with taking profits. People tweet at me and say, how come I didn't get out, or where's a good spot to get out? I like those tweets, but honestly, right here, right now, 876, you could have just got some, get some out now.
Yeah, on the daily, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just telling people right now, I don't know what it looks like on the daily, but if you have that up, let's go.
Like $8.75, $9 on the bag holding prices here, and eventually $10 to the upside on LGVN. So, I mean, where we're sitting right now, that 880 level is definitely something. It's a previous high, but also on the daily, a significant price level. So taking profits makes sense to me. At this point, I mean, unless you already have that long, I'm not really looking for the breakout here. I'm starting to think about fading off each of those types of levels. Now, I want it to settle down a little bit here. And if it breaks this 9, I'm definitely going to be looking at $10 for the fade trade. Once something is capitulated a couple of times, which it kind of did here, one time when I was trading it, and then a second time when I wasn't, I'm sort of betting that the third time it's going to happen as well, especially when you have an obvious stop. Like, you know you're getting out at either $8.90 the current high or $9. That's simple. You know if you're short in front of 10, you're getting out at $10. So I like to structure that trade. If I take a breakout long, I'm not sure were you wrong? At 8 at the Hall price? You can't give up at 850. That wouldn't even make any sense. You're not giving it any room to work. So I kind of feel like you can actually do a better risk to reward trade with the short side. And that's why I tend to favor it, because if I go long on a 9 break and I have to give it to 8, well, then I'm basically having to hold it all the way to that $10 level, which, again, I think that's going to be a problematic type of hold. I'm in a couple of positions here, RAS and Wish from the morning. Like I said this morning, I plan on being in Wish pretty much all day to the short side after they got the downgrade and broke an all-time low.
That long Everon is amazing. We've seen guys, stocks trade through their float multiple times over. I'll give you the number here, if we can show that there, Lucas. Thank you. 2.91 million free float. Stock's gone 228 million shares today. So that's one of the bigger ones I've seen so far. I saw this today and found it kind of interesting. Roblox, crazy mover so far this week, in fact. Nike teaming up with Roblox for Nikeland, which is going to look something along those lines, I guess. But I mean, no reaction whatsoever to this for Nike shares, but Roblox, decent day again today.
Concerts, come on.
I mean, that is literally,
that's what they do.
That is exactly what I was saying. I mean, not what I was saying. I mean, this is the whole point of Roblox. This is why, and it's so funny because my kid is long Roblox, $69, 5 shares. He's pretty proud of that, so we'll be buying him something there as we've been buying Roblox.
He can buy it himself.
Together, yeah, he can buy Roblox out himself. He's long down here, 69, bought some more at 65. I bought myself some real shares. No offense to my kid, but down here at 77 before earnings. And the thing is, it's exactly, I used McDonald's. Remember, I used McDonald's as an example. I said, the kids could just be cruising along in Robloxia or whatever the hell, Brookhaven. Those of you that have kids know what I'm talking about. So, you're just walking around the city there, and all of a sudden you see a McDonald's store there with the golden arches, and allows you to go in, and then all of a sudden on the menu there is the Big Mac, the fries, the this, the that. And I mean, this is what our world's getting to. And then what does that mean for McDonald's? Huge, because now the kids, it's in here, right? They know what it looks like. They got the golden arches. They can do their character can start to be so happy when they. Anyways, long story short, that's a great one. Nike, an absolute monster there for them. And then, they're going to get more and more. I mean, pretty soon, what happens when Tesla sponsors Roblox? Right now, you can go in there and buy cars in Roblox. Right? And so once you're driving around that, that Tesla, that SEV, that Sono car, whatever, whoever throws money at them, trust me, man, they're going to take it. Roblox today elevated up to 140, and then it was see ya. We actually tried right here on this. You can see this little, maybe I can zoom in a little bit here. We didn't have this all morning. Obviously, we were in Nvidia. It was crazy. We will talk about PayPal soon as well. But I wanted this break and just missed it. My order didn't fill, was not aggressive enough. I wanted this break right here, 137.50, and it wasn't this time. It was this second time when we failed up here at 139, 140. Obviously, key levels are always going to be key. So that 140 even dollar level, just like SEV this morning at 50, right? It doesn't quite get to 50, but you can fade 139 on this situation, not SEV, and then boom, to the downside, there it goes. I would have covered, I would have covered in here for sure, most likely, something around here. Might have hold a small piece back. Was not expecting Roblox to give everything back today, so to me, it's down a lot. It's barcoding. Well, sorry about that. It was barcoding. I was going to say if it breaks said barcode, then we go long, but that already happened. So right now I think we'll watch Roblox. Yesterday it was a good name for us. We hit that pretty hard at the close and gave everybody about, it was a $2 winner or so. So maybe a 127 break. Now that I look at this, you go back here, 127, a little bit of an area there, possibly taking that long through 127 on Roblox. I don't know, man. 1%'s good. This has already been up a lot. That's pretty cool about Nike. And I'm just excited for my position. I haven't sold anything other than, I think it was, what was it, 110? I'll have to find it. I tweeted it out, but 110 or 118 yesterday or the other day. So that was only out of 15%. Obviously looking like a bad decision, but you got to take profits at some point, guys. And I think Roblox at that 140, I should just put an offer there in case it hits tomorrow, because if that goes back up to there, it's a double in a week. You should take that.
And just a quick update here, that LGVN, which I couldn't find a long that I liked out of it until it actually holds that halt price, which was 790, and it consolidated, so I was able to get like an 809 long, and then it broke the halt price. So for me, that's always going to be a reversal to the short side. So of course, it's now whipping me around. So any success we had on it earlier, it's now getting whippy in this range. And if it retakes like an 840 here, then I'm going to be getting out. I think there's one chance at a rollover at this previous level. So if you look at this is about like 830 or so before it made that capitulation. I think it just put in a top at 830. Like to me, if it breaks that, then the only place I really want to be shorting is back at 890. So no point holding it onto it through that price. I'm just going to put a stop at 830 even, probably add to it here because I don't have a full position on. If I can get some coming back downside, maybe through 15s, and then throw an 830 stop on it. If you're still paying attention to SG, back at 49. So I might have got wicked out of that short a little bit too easily. But hey, I didn't want to. If that stock had done another crazy run back up to like 55, I didn't want to be a part of getting run over after it was such a great IPO initial trade. There's no need to throw it away in the last hour of the day.
All right, let's go to PayPal. I see everybody talking about PayPal, so let's get into it. Who is this Bernstein guy, and who does he think he is? 220, that's the price target, down from 260. It's at 200. What on earth? PayPal.
F you, Bernstein. Yeah, so, I mean, look, I think it's a BS downgrade anyways, but the stock falling today back down to levels that need to be bought up if you're not in PayPal. I think this is a great opportunity to get into the name. I don't have any problems with this stock right here being at these levels. I tried it. Oh, so PayPal, barely, I'm barely down on PayPal. It's like an execution issue there, or fees, I guess, on that side. We buy 201s, we're out 201.50, we're out 202.25 there, so making a little bit. Then we buy it again at $200.65, and then when it breaks through, we get out. We were always getting out. So I don't, again, like we sit here and talk about, being responsible and having outs and having ins and all that stuff. The minute that 200 breaks, I'm out of there. The only problem was, basically, once it broke back up, guess this was the time, and again, it's on me. I sit here and make the trades, but this is right when Sweet Green opened, right about 130, 140. So unfortunately, I do miss the opportunity to take this back in, and then it comes back in right here just now, about 20 minutes ago, back down to 200 before ripping back up. So I think you can buy it. That was obviously a push down bottom there that had nothing to do with anything, and someone got wicked out there. You could see big sell volume, including myself, makes a bottom at 199 flat. We get out at 199.88. So we talked about not having any slippage and all that kind of stuff. So there it is. Like, that's a good out. We lose like 80 cents on that, but we should have got back in, noticing that the very next candle was an aggressive green candle breaking the level that I thought was going to be support. So if that's not a screaming buy right there or right here, then I don't know what is, but or anywhere here, back down to 200. Hopefully we get that opportunity today. I mean, I don't know, but if we get that tomorrow, I'm just going to keep making the same trade. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake, but I'm going to keep going long at 200. I'm also buying more from my own portfolio, and Bob's your Uncle Bernstein.
Yeah.
I'll see you at 250, bro.
Definition of a failed break. And just so you guys know, I think we said it once, and Sean alluded to it there, but it's when you're a day trader and you're waiting on and you're trading something like an SG, it's got your full attention. So that's the opportunity cost, and what was obviously a good trade. So if SG flops, then you miss out on something like a PayPal, which is clear failed break and back through 200. And we were long in the morning show off of 201, I think both of us. And I would have been looking at this for the same reasons. And actually, the one I'm disappointed about, I think, is when it just retested at 230. Since we were on here, actually, it retested 200 and gave you another buy back into VWAP, guys. So there was probably a good opportunity there. And you like wipeout bottoms. Those are usually great opportunities, I think, at some point to get in, and a lot of times these downgrades come at opportune times. Look, I think if I didn't own any shares, I would be buying. If you do, which I do, I think there's still some potential downside because it's like a flavor of the month kind of thing. I was saying this morning. Like, I sometimes feel that you won't get the buying you expect in names like this until the hype of like the EVs come back, and maybe this was the start of it today. I kind of hope so, but we'll definitely see. I'm going to give up on this LVGN. Like, forget about it. I'm not trading it inside the range anymore. This thing needs to break out or truly break down. Like, get below 750 or break out above 9, because trading it in this halt range is doing absolutely nothing for me, so I'm done with it.
Market guys trying to get back to day highs here. We're still hovering kind of 0.3-ish on the S&P. Just had some volume go off on this VOSO again, which is that SPAC that went absolutely nuts today, all the way up to almost 20. This is the company, WEJO. It's from the UK. This is like a data analytics company for driving. Which is kind of convenient that it comes out the same day that Apple's talking about autonomous driving. They already have a deal with, Microsoft. So big move here. This is a decent news story, I guess, for this SPAC, guys. VOSO.
Hey man, you had me at softy, but I have no idea about the stock.
I mean, neither do I. Except for one thing, we know the magical price is $10 for the SPAC, for SPACs in general. So probably should have been interesting. And this is a weird thing because you look at like these 11, 12 breaks and like, I feel like there's so many people emboldened at these prices because it's such a defined out that you probably have there. But the other thing we should have thought about, well, I should have thought about is $20. Like, is it really sometimes that obvious? Like the SPAC of the day runs to $20 before it puts in the pullback and that's all you had to wait for. It goes to $19.90. Like you could have had this consolidation at maybe like 75 or so, reasonably speaking. Look at the volume here, lots of volume. So definitely you could have had 75s, 25 cents risk and slippage, and it pulls all the way back into 13. So again, like you're not going to trade everything out there in the market, but these are the kind of things you want to look for. Sometimes keep it simple, stupid is something for a reason. So yeah, probably should have been trading this one. I don't know that you want to be, that heavily buying back into it, although you do have that $10 backstop, and certainly I think there's going to be support on this bad boy at like $12 or so. And IZC1234, did we trade Amazon today? Did not trade Amazon, but if you've been listening,
whoa,
I think what was that?
The market, I don't know. Nvidia's coming down. I just was wondering if it was part of the market. I didn't mean to.
No. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Market moves, man. As we're talking, Amazon just. I think it's a fantastic sort of undercover play for the metaverse. Amazon Web Services will be a big factor there, and of course they can create all kinds of marketplaces. And I think the advantage here is Amazon. A lot of people write it off because it just hasn't been moving. And I think a lot of times that's a fantastic opportunity when a company is more focused on not the share price but the long term. You get these chances to get in when it's in the midst of potentially breaking back out, which I tend to think Amazon is going to be doing here. So it's another inch up here today, getting back to this 38. I don't know what this wick's all about. That's our charts is whatever.
Nothing. They're on all these stocks.
Eventually looking at a 3,800 break out there. Now, did I trade it today? No. I mean, I didn't think I traded that many symbols today, but it's like I have. I'm sitting up here at like 10 different stocks traded, still in a couple of positions. So you're not going to get to absolutely everything. And Amazon did afford you a fantastic looking, breakout style trade at the open. Whether or not it's a pre-market high break or what I think is a more simple, allow it to come back, test and hold support, make an opening range, and then break out from there, right? That's a little bit more of a defined trade, and then follow up on volume. That's at 10 o'clock where you would have had that one. So a lot of times people are always looking to get that first initial great price. When if you take the secondary break, usually you have a little bit more of a defined risk to reward, a better sense of what the market is doing at that time, momentum-wise. So I think that plays in there with Amazon if you happen to be trading it. But we didn't trade it here today. I still love them. I think you can't. In this case, I don't think you can go wrong with most of the FANG names. And to me, it's a little bit safer to be buying the ones that you don't have to pick up at all-time highs and then just pick dips on everything else, right? So it's like when it's adding, if you don't just regularly buy every single quarter on some of these, and it's like buy Microsoft on dips. Buy Apple regularly, and then Amazon, to me, you buy regularly. Every time it falls down to the bottom end of this range, you pick a little bit up, and I think it makes sense. But I don't think it's usually a day trade because of how expensive it is for a lot of people. Though, I mean, it's like we trade Tesla, but for some reason won't trade in Amazon.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What just happened there on the market? Yeah, Amazon. Again, you could just nothing. It might have just been Nvidia. I was watching and it flushed down, and we actually didn't get. I'm sitting at 316.20, 21. Actually, we didn't get it. It only goes down as far as 40. That would have been a pretty sweet fill because now we'd be back in the money on this name. So we'll have to wait on that one. Okay, I want to address Palantir here. I've been telling Brendan that we need to talk about this a little bit. So, all right. So this is how my Palantir day goes, right? Someone said, how could you make money on Palantir? I mean, yeah, I look at this and I wonder the same thing, but to me it's an easy answer. And it's because I scalp, and that's what I do continuously on Palantir. I don't have any losing trades on here, except for once this finally broke back down here through 50, and that was off of this long 56. So we lose 6 pennies on, I think it was probably 10, 15% of the shares that we had left. And we just waited for this to drop down. Palantir's been sick, man. I mean, it's been like sick as in like, where's my throw up button? Here, there it is. This is the kind of experience for Palantir lately. I feel like a lot of these new issues, I mean, even a name, I mean, we can shout out, you know who I haven't seen? Jacqueline. I haven't seen Jacqueline in the chat in a while.
Okay.
I'm sure everything's fine. But, you know, she was loving Upstart and saying buy, buy, buy. That's come back down, right? There's going to be names that, you know, are loved, like you mentioned there. Right now it's EV space. Everybody loves the EV space. They don't love data or anything right now, I guess. I want to check in on Snowflake. But Palantir's been sick, so there's no way. And it's just like Clover and all. And I could talk about Clover coming up in right next if you want. We wait for it to base out. And when it bases out, I don't know if it was on my sticky note today. I had a lot on there today. I have so many. Oh no, this is my sticky note today. I don't think Palantir was even on here. No, EV names is on here. Cisco, BABA, SEV, and Nvidia. But you wait for it to base out down here, 2150, right? It wasn't rocket science on that. It comes down, it bounces off 50. I love trading the 50s. I love trading the 75s. Evens and 25s. So we trade all those, comes back up, we start getting it out on the way up. Look where we're getting it out. Just look at this level, 75. So again, taking that 15, 20 cents on a stock that we know doesn't want to go up. Once it starts going near view up, we start emptying out more and more up here. We're not waiting for it to come all the way to the backside. We know it's not a great name. It hasn't been trading well, so we take it out. Then when it breaks, we're gone. So that's why you see me up on Palantir. I mean, you could come, I mean, hopefully we'll have people come through here and you'll be able to see us trading live, and then you'll be able to see the kind of damage that we're doing on some of these names. Thank you for asking, but that's how I trade Palantir every single day. What's up, Brendan?
Robinhood just popping up here, guys, on this lawsuit dismissal. So here's a stock. It's already getting crushed today. Volume coming in, though, to the upside. Looks like a judge has dismissed that meme stock suit against them. If you remember, there was a lawsuit just against the fact that they were preventing people from. I'm just the messenger, just throwing that out there. So that lawsuit has been thrown out, guys. So Robinhood trying to go here.
Okay, so right now, just an update here. We'll talk about Robinhood in a minute. We can't believe what happened when that broke the low. Here goes Nvidia, $1.70 in the money right now on Nvidia. I think in here is fine for this trade. 321.90, 322. I actually just put it out at 321.90 here, so we'll see if that can come through and get filled. But 321.90 is where I'm sitting. It's $1.50 in the money right now. So yeah, we'll fire off the hot dog cannon for this one right now if you want to take it. There it is, $1.50 in the money on NVDA. My target is right here, 321.90, if that can come through. We'll see if the NASDAQ wants to continue to bump up, but that's my talk there on Nvidia. The name that he had was Robinhood. Neil, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing that given the context logic trade, the all-time low break, that wasn't put on in Robinhood, because that was exactly the same thing, breaking an all-time low, and then you're gonna get a bounce back on the news that Brendan just mentioned here. Just keep in mind how muted it is. Like it's not really doing much of anything. And I feel like this is exactly the example of, like why you wanted to wait on, like why I wanted to wait on the Global Foundries, or why you wanted to wait on a Rivian, because of experiences, like a Robinhood where they go up, but it's like, yeah, they come back, you're gonna get your chance, whatever, just wait it out. And this is what happened. And it's strange to me that, and maybe this is something to learn from, at least I think for myself anyways, that when you get something that it seems like no one's talking about, when it gets to these lows, it's all quiet, like people aren't talking about Robinhood, then why is anyone going to be buying it when it breaks a low like this, right? And that's a momentum play that probably should have been had. It's like a context logic. By the way, I said I'd wait for the periphery of the ranges on LGVN, which usually works out a little bit better. Okay, so that's why I finally did here. I actually wait for it to get to the top of the range, like I said when we first came on, and it goes to like 8. Well, it goes to 890 again. I just got 79s, which I should probably try to scalp some out here instead of looking a gift horse in the mouth. But I just got 79s right in front of that high of the day. I'll try to get some out in front of 50 instead of at 50. You put a bid at like the round even number, and it's like, why do you expect to get filled if you put your bid at 50? So I'll try to get out in front of 850. I'll try to get some more out in front of like 8 to 825 or so. But that's what I should have waited for instead of trying to do all this nonsense in here. It's like sometimes I should just be listening to myself because I'm fairly certain I said I should be shortening this off the high of the day because it was level on the daily chart. And I don't really see anything, and then I got involved after it retested that halt level. So, like I said, I just got some out there in front of 850. I'll look between 8 and 825 for the rest of this trade. No need to be a hero. It respected the halt price before to the long side, so I'm not going to try to hero this thing by expecting it to come all the way down and view up. Great if it, I mean, whatever. Like maybe it does, but if it's strong enough here that if you can come away with a winning trade on the short side, I'm just going to bank the profit. We have 50 minutes to go, but I don't feel like I need to marry this position, bless you, by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm in, I'm out. This is what I should have done the first time, is wait for this. You finally get it on LGVN. And by the way, if it does not take out this area here, you know, like 65 to the halt price 90s, then, you know, it's not necessarily done. Now, maybe it's going to flush through, and I'll look like an idiot for covering, but that's fine. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, some lawsuit there. Judge dismissed it against Robinhood there, basically the meme lawsuit there between them and Citadel. So some news coming out there on Robinhood, which gives us this bump up. Ms. V is in the building. What do you got to say, Ms. V?
Hey guys, it's like o'clock. I know a lot of is going on the market right now. You're busy, so here I am to remind you to smash the like button. We have more than 3,000 viewers and only 400 likes. Guys, your support means so much to us. So please make sure to support the community and hit the likes to the upside. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Ms. V. Yeah, we need to get some more likes. Already up to 500 right there. We'll see if we can get 1,000, 2,000. Don't know what we had yesterday, but thank you, Ms. V, for that one. We'll look to get more likes, guys. More likes. The more likes, the better for us. That would be nice.
You get to 1,000, Arun will sit in my chair tomorrow.
Yes, we'll just give everyone the update right now. Neil taking a vacay Monday, Friday and Monday. No Neil.
It's my anniversary on Monday, 7 years. So it's copper and, well, I mean, traditional is copper, and then wool is like, somehow wool is the contemporary. It's a weird thing that I decided to do for some reason. It's like every year I'll actually make the gift, the old school traditional theme. And then you start that and this is one of those things. You start something and then now I have no choice. Like for the next, for the rest of my life, every year I'm gonna, whatever that traditional theme is, I gotta come up with a gift along those lines. But it's a heck of a lot of fun. So I'm gonna continue to do it. Some of them are like copper. What do you do with copper? But you know, I'd say it out loud, but on the off chance my wife is watching, I'd be giving it away.
Yep. So we'll see what you're doing with copper. I mean, I could guess and be right. So.
There's not a lot you can
I won't even guess because I already know what it is.
There's not a lot.
Okay,
I didn't tell you, did I?
No, you didn't tell me at all, but it's obvious. Okay, so I'll tell you after the show what it is, and then you could be like, oh my God, this guy. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but okay. Yeah, so big Arun. So it'll be the Pew versus the Bang tomorrow. We'll see about that. Arun and I had a great time last week. He'll be here Friday and Monday. A bunch of us will be taking off time as we go, and then you guys can pick your favorites. But I wish we could get all three of us on the show as much as we can. And yeah, maybe it'll be me and Rob one day on the show. That should be fun there.
One of these days, the whole like role reversal. Like imagine if Rob and Lucas sat in our seats and then we tried to switch the show.
He's laughing, but yeah, I mean, I could probably switch the show. I think you need about a day or two. Like Maggie, remember when Maggie got hired? I think she was switching day 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't want.
Get him a couple sim accounts.
I can't. The problem is I can't get out of the seat. Like I don't even. And I love when Neil does the hosting for Brendan, but I like honestly, I wouldn't.
I couldn't. It was.
I would literally like me doing that role. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine, but like I have to focus on trading. There's no way. I know it's hard. That's what I'm saying. Like I have to be here, sitting here trading. It's too much. But anyways, yeah, congratulations to Brendan. It's not him. It's Neil on vacay there. So, all right, just a quick little shout out to everybody trading today. I hope you've had a great day. We just watched Nvidia go 250 in the money. Right there, so you know that was good. Thank you, Ms. V. Now 750 likes, over 3,100 people watching. Guys, hit the like button to celebrate Neil's anniversary as well. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, let's give a shout out. If you have that look, we can show Lucas and Rob right now, and then you guys can be the judge on who's working harder, us or them. Let's go, guys. There, yeah, see, there you go. Good job. I'm just playing around with these guys. Okay.
I actually think Lucas was asking about getting a simulation account the other day, a couple months ago, and we never ended up doing it. But let me know if you still want to do that, Lucas.
Yeah, but how could he?
There's no free time anymore.
No free
we go all
time.
day. Yeah, we go all day long. What am I even talking about? But someone just said they'll give a like if we go over Vinco
I'm
Ventures.
not giving Lucas an account, and I'll tell you why, because then he's going to become a trader, and then we're screwed.
This happens, but that's true, by the way. So like everybody, we had a co-op student on the floor in high school who was like the kid of an employee in the back office, and it's like, next thing you know, he graduates and he's talking about, do I need to go to university? And we're all like, slow yourself down. I know people get addicted to trading, but go to university. I know you graduated, but
there we go.
we'll be doing better than that at the anniversary than the Paps. But I want to get to this. I want to get to Vinco Ventures, if only because someone said if we talk about it, give analysis, and it won't be a good one, but it won't be good for the stock.
Luke.
But they give a like. And Vinco, so I think the support level that you would have been looking for to hold has not happened, right? So there is no volume. I can't even show you how tiny the volume is on Vinco Ventures. Your last ditch effort was this broke out at about 340, right? So I think if you're looking for an entry point, I think if you're looking at 350 and you can stomach 40% risk, which, is that right? It's actually a little bit, yeah, it's about 40% down to this $2 level. So yeah, it's about 40% or so. If you can stomach that for an entry point, just from a pure small cap, 100% gamble, speculative type of play, that's about all. So you'd wait for it to follow further in that case. If you're looking to grab any kind of a breakout on this stock, like I tried to break out on this a few days ago, and I mean, it stunk, right? Like I tried to get this when it was breaking this level here. Here we go, that's a little bit better. I was trying to capture this break here at a 460, thinking you could get to $5. It couldn't. And when you see a failed break like this off a double top, I should have been shorting the stock for the last couple of days, but there were bigger fish to fry, so we missed out on it. I think the next level where you could attempt that kind of a break is gonna be back here at about 425, 430. And even on that day, I think you're only giving it like 25 cents or 30 cents or something like that. Like you're waiting for it to go on volume, or you're just willing to YOLO it at 350 and give yourself 40% stop to $2. I think those are the only two plays you can make. If you're sitting there holding the bag, it's tough for us to comment on that because I know neither of us would make a speculative play like this or trade or swing without an out. So, to say, okay, well, if you're stuck at 5, what do you do with it? Well, I mean, I don't know your personal risk parameters. I don't know what do you need the money for. It's difficult to say. There's no chance I would have still been holding it past a level like that 420, 430 area on any of these breaks, because that's got to be your stop in that particular case, and you just suck it up. That's the thing about spec plays. Like if Alibaba drops another, like 5 points off that 130 level, I give up. Like it's that simple. I think I said that when I got in at 162, and I won't buy anymore until it gets to 130. And I probably should have taken profit when it popped last time. But you got to have those things for your spec plays. I think it's a little bit different when you just believe in the company, you want to hold it forever. But I don't think anybody thinks that of Vinco Ventures. At least I'm speculating that they don't. And I don't think anyone believes that of Virgin Galactic, right? Like, I mean, if Virgin Galactic is at $8, I'm not still holding on to it. I want to buy more if it gets to like 13 to 15 and probably give that to 10s. But I'm not going to just hold it to oblivion. Shot plays are shot plays. You should have an out no matter what.
Ban hammering people here.
What?
Okay, so people talking about Clover being a dead stock. Look, I mean, I agree 100% here today. This is what we've been doing on Clover. It looks a hell of a lot like Palantir, right, guys? Just kind of not doing anything, now breaking down. If you can guess where my out is, you're going to be right where that is. It's going to be 550, so we break back down below. Just got to make sure I still have that in. Yes, we do. It's actually a little bit lower than 550, but you get the idea here on Clover. Not even going to average into this, man. I mean, we're right down near the bottom. I think you could take this Clover now. I mean, if you have the capabilities to do what Neil and I do, scalping back and forth here, then I don't have a problem with this Clover. But right now, man, we're bag holding Clover. I told you why I bought this thing, and we're not out of the. I mean, we're out of the money, but I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it's not that much, and these aren't like when I talk about some of these swing positions. I'm not a great, swing trader. I more like to play names that are, like a Disney, like a PayPal, something that, does find bottoms eventually and try to hold, right? And I mean, right now, Clover, I like what they're doing. They're disrupting the space, but obviously the execution continues to be really poor. I was just looking at this I mean, here, just put it like this. This is a daily chart. I was just looking at this $7 level and thinking it would hold. Unfortunately, today they upsized their offering down to $5.75 as well. So upsize share, our downsized price. And yeah, now you're just getting killed on this one. I did, though, double down on this position. So I did buy some off market here at 560. So we'll wait off show. We'll wait to see if that can come through. But again, it's not a big position. It's just one to hold out for possible good news. I think management restructuring or something on Clover can go. But that's how we can stay out of this name and not really be down on it at all. It's going to show that we're up. And remember, every single time I piece it out, it like adds it as if like I go long at 57. Oh, you're out at 69 there? Okay, that's 12 cents. Oh, you got out at 67 again? All right, that's another 15 cents or 11 cents, whatever it is, right? So it just keeps adding it up. So when you see our totals on there, it's misleading. It has nothing to do with our net. I'm actually down on Clover today. Well, it'll be, if we get kicked out, we'll be down. But Clover's not a very profitable position, obviously, here today. As we averaged in, we took our big position down here, which is why it's somewhat profitable. But right now, the biggest barcode for me is Nvidia. I mean, it's not doing anything right here. It went up to $2, $2.50 in the money. We didn't take it, or 180, sorry, in the money. We didn't take it. I still have this 322 as a target. If the market goes, I think we can get this. So I don't mind this Nvidia trade, but I'm losing a little bit of patience with this. The thing is, with the minute I get out at 320, man, it's going to rip to where I wanted it.
And then it'll be like a buy and balance and go to 330.
I know. It's actually, I didn't even realize that it's 320 already. So
I don't know if we got to did we get to Dominic's super chat? Because Lucas gave an answer here. Dominic asked Lucas if that's a Behringer X32 for control. And Lucas said, yes, it is. So, A, I'm not even, like, that's just impressive that you'd even somehow know that, Dominic, by looking at it. So, yeah, whatever. Obviously, I obviously know absolutely nothing about what they do other than the fact they hit some keys and it looks like Star Wars and we all look good on, thanks to them. But, yep, it's a Behringer. There you go. So if you're curious about it, always feel free to ask questions. Hey, if you have suggestions for like a new animation so we can do something different. I feel like you can't use any of these ones today because crypto got a bit of a bounce to the downside. I actually picked some up like yourself there, Sean, just on, well, not Bitcoin, but Ethereum. I'm going to wait a little more on Bitcoin. But I wanted to come back to PayPal because someone just said 200 PayPal, so you made me look. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. Like, I'm not going to, when someone types in, can you please check deez.nq, like we're not falling for it as if we're Trader Prad, but if you say PayPal 200 and I don't have the stock up and I don't see my quote board, yeah, I'm going to flip to it. It's at 200, 201 here. I mean, if it was down at 200 with 40 minutes to go, yeah, I think I want to put that trade on. Just after the wipeout bottom and the higher low, it's worth the defense again for the scalp trade, certainly on PayPal. So if it gets another, I wouldn't go long at 01s. Because the time, like it was okay earlier in the day, that 01, because there's still a chance you get an extended move past that 03. Like maybe it goes all the way to 5s. It gives you a couple of bucks, but the closer you go to the end of the day with the market stalling out a bit here, I'd rather get something tighter to that 200 level.
Okay, so, that's Clover. That's lots of talk here. We'll look at a few things. Yes, so thank you, Dominic, for that. That is Clover. Just a quick check back on PayPal. We're back down to 201 in change. Jude, you talked about coin that you liked as well. Back to, I don't know, Jude. It's back to 330. I mean, wherever the price goes is fine. Yeah, we're pretty low right now. I may buy back into Coinbase now. We did sell some at 360. And again, this is what I'm talking about. If it's in my big boy account, I can follow these names and watch them a little bit better than some of these smaller positions that I have on. But we did sell Coinbase right here when it made that little loop-de-loop here. I called it a complete U, formed all the way back. So we sold 360 right before earnings. I still think there's some more pain here, although I did buy more Ethereum today. I think that's a good opportunity on that dip. And like I said, small buy. I just bought $2,000 more of Ethereum. And we'll see where it goes. But Coinbase, I like the play. I'd almost wait to see here, and I'm looking over at, right here. I mean, this is a daily chart. We're dropping down. It looks like we're trying to hold that 4,000. If I give you a minute, what we're looking at here is Ether. If you look here back, ETH, there it is. So that was that very bottom at 39.50. It looks like we're holding about $100 higher right now at 40.40. So I think you know, we'll watch it. If it could take out 4,100, then I think we might have something on Coinbase. But for right now, I'm going to stay away from that name, Jude. I mean, I like it. We traded here often on the show, as you guys know, but I'm going to stay away from that. I did want to go back over to Macy's quickly here because I still think this is way, way overdone. And you know, it's getting close to a short. Like, I wish we were back somewhere near this 38 so I could short this thing. A 37 break might be good as well.
SG's fault.
That's something, yeah, SG's fault. Yeah, I blame everything on SG today. What is SG doing anyways? Let's have a quick look at that. Ooh, 52. So the short gets cashed in, then cashed out. We're flat on that short, but here he goes, man. Breaking higher and higher and higher here. SG just taking out VWAP there at 51. Sweet Green making a move to the upside. That was our trade of the day. And then Nvidia barcoding right now. I'm going to try to do something about that. What's up, Brendo, I believe? Miss V?
I heard a call too, so I don't know what's going on.
You guys tell me what that
but
is.
I'll get to this because Tara in the chat, you asked about, is Roku a short? I think you asked, could Roku get to 220? Correct me if I'm wrong. So whether that's you're in a short position, which congratulations if you already are. Maybe we talked about this, but I actually think Roku has more room than that. Certainly, I mean, support looks more like somewhere in this, probably this cluster here. I'm looking at like 195 to about a 208. And it's the nature of the way that it absolutely capitulated through this 270 level, right? Like you start thinking about like what that retracement means. If you get to about that 20, that 25%, and again, I like round numbers here. You start thinking about like a 204, a 200 type of level, which is right into that cluster, and that makes more sense to me. It's a double. It's also, you get a double top here at 490, and then you're just crashing through like being cut in half. Like if you don't find a bid in this range, I think it's reasonable to put another big leg into the downside. It's not a name I would bet on. That being said, I'll say candidly that, I didn't cover all of a related, thank you, please load. Come on, Daily, give it to me. Yeah, I didn't cover all of my FUBO. I took this FUBO trade, and again, you never went broke taking profit, but when FUBO consolidated and it made this nice break, I rode the train and was like, yeah, make sure you ring the register at 34, but I'm holding the bag on shares as well, and I'm giving it to 20. It's just, when you make a spec play, you make a spec play. Plug was probably way better. That's obviously a much safer space. And it just could be one of those things, just like PaySafe. If you're in the EV or related clean energy space or the chip sector, that's what's running. And if you're not in those momentum names, a lot of these other things are running out of steam. You just have to wait for a time when they're going to be back in favor. So I think when it comes to streaming and also the betting space as well, which Fubo TV is a part of both of those worlds, until we get some more, like a slowdown in the EV names and some more love for those, you're not going to go anywhere. Like, yeah, Fubo's not bouncing likely until you get a bounce in something like DraftKings as well. So I think you hold out, half a stop on something like this. Roku, I think, can go further down. I wouldn't be surprised if Fubo did as well. Brennan?
Another one trying to bounce here, guys. Ford, or was trying to bounce here, just took out that last little pivot around 19.5. In addition to the GFS news today, they also said they're going to double their EV production in 24 months. So 2 years, they'll be producing double the EVs. So a little bit of volume coming back into Ford.
Okay, I like that Ford play. I just want to quickly go over something here because we do have the like situation happening right now. If we can get, I don't know why that just shrunk down there. If we can get 1,000 likes, we'll hit the Miss V animation. So we do have 1,000 like animation coming. So if we can get that to 1,000, we'll hit it, and you'll see a cool animation with Miss V. And then I put a request, and hopefully we can get some updated ones because her look and whatnot has changed. So maybe we can get some cooler ones there. Let's turn that to 1,000, and then we'll hit the Miss V like animation. And then if we get to 2,000, then guess what? We'll hit it again for 2,000, guys. So hopefully we can get that going. And there it is, man. So who has the animation? If you have it, guys, let's hit that. We just made our goal there. 1,000 likes. Thank you so much for that. And
what?
Okay, we'll get it in a minute there. Rob is gone, and Lucas is trash talking his organization skills as Rob comes right back in to hit it. I don't have it on my board because I cleaned it up.
I don't have mine either. I thought I did have it.
You just got hurt there or what? Yeah, okay.
What happened? Oh.
Yeah, Prad can massage it for
He's
you.
safe.
Okay. Are we going to get that like thing soon?
We don't know.
Oh, it doesn't know where it is.
Why is SoFi running so much?
Okay, I apologize about the like animation. We'll work on that. We'll look at what SoFi's doing as well.
We were watching it like. Well,
I thought I saw it today.
Well, we were waiting around because there was not much to do. We were staring at the
There it
screen
is.
for
100K? Okay, you know what? Honestly, Rob, like honestly, at least Maggie's here to see all this. Let's 100K likes. Oh man, now we're getting unlike buttons being pushed here. Isn't unlike button even exist? What does that even mean, unlike? Okay, so thank you so much, guys. We'll get that for you.
Why is that even there?
This is the thing, like I'm trying to like produce, direct this.
You know what? Maybe we're just that optimistic. Like, we're gonna get 100,000 likes because Rob's got the man bun. Which
thank God it's Thursday, man. I mean, I know you're not here tomorrow. I wish I booked the day off, but.
Oh, who plays in Thursday Night Football tonight? I don't know. What are we doing?
I know who it is. New England, Atlanta. So we'll see some Mac Jones action come through, and then dead arm Matt Ryan will be in the place as well.
Ouch.
Thank you, Damien, man. There it is. Sticky Note Nation is in the building, and look at that. So I've been talking about selling Rivian. This dude, Damien, what up, Damien, right now? Walking on some water, cashed out today, took the Nvidia dip, cashed out on that, has the put all day, every day. Congratulations on that trade there, Damien, and thank you for spreading some of the love there as we go. Thank you so much, Damien. I don't even know if we've hit the 1K likes yet. I see Rob going through the inventory. We do have a lot of animations. However, we don't really use any of them anymore. So we will clean that up and get that going. We were here early this morning, like 5 a.m. And so we had to get ready to do something. So we're a little bit distraught right now, if you can't tell. And but we'll be back tomorrow.
Good. Yeah, well, you'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, so I mean, there is some things still moving, right? Like Rivian here, and I don't love this break at this time of day, but I'm going to give it to you here. 125. It's a bit of a double top. This is exactly where it was right around noon when you had that big flush there. But on the level 2, if this will actually, yeah, there we are. There is, and this is, so I've seen this happen before where you get size on the even dollar, like at 1,400 shares or 14,000 shares. And then you're like, oh, look at the 10,000 at 02. Don't take the breakout because there's support on this at 02s. And then a lot of times all that'll happen is you might actually have somebody who's offering that price and they're willing to cancel that 02 on the off chance a small fill happens at 125. So I tend to write off a lot of times that size that you see there. It might still be a decent break. You tend not to want to get bluffed by that. I think if you're making a play on this break, it's pretty binary. Like you're looking for a push into VWAP, and then you're probably just wanting to give it that dollar. So it's like a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and you don't want to get too caught up what you see at the level 2 because I tend to think that 02 offer might be fugazi. And like because why would you sit at 125? Like look at what the stock is doing. Why would you be sitting at 125.02 for 12,000 shares? It doesn't make any sense. Like if you think it's breaking here and you want to get out above it, why wouldn't you just make an extra 50 points on it and get out at 125.50, which it's likely to get to. And if you don't think it's going to run, then why wouldn't you just be covering here as it tests that price? So anyways, I thought that offer was kind of fugazi. I think you sometimes want to ignore things like that when you see them. Just to come back to, and I'm going to get out of these things, by the way, like this RAAS, which I'm sitting in all day long. Is that another random? You hit that or was that?
I didn't hit anything. That might be the 1K one. So maybe we don't.
Was it really?
I guess we don't have a Valeria. Like no one wants to see some old man. Do that again.
That?
Do that again. Like come on, man. Come on, an old man doing. Like who is that? Like, is that like Rob's uncle or something? Like why do we even have that guy? You're not celebrating, man. People are calling us a scam. We did not lie to you. I thought there was a Valeria one.
No, hold on, no. You didn't think there was. We were watching SG.
Is Valeria the 2K
and our program
one?
monitor is right here in between us. And like they were testing different. We saw it.
There we go. I'm down with this. I'm down with this.
That's fine.
All right, there we go.
Just change the 2 to a 1. And that's, yeah, there you go.
I mean, I like the different facial expressions. I think that's good enough right there, guys, for you. But that's. I screwed this all up. So this is on me, not on Rob. I thought we had a 1K Miss V, but we don't. So thank you for that one.
Now you got to get us to 2,000.
Shout out to Rob's uncle or grandpa or whoever that was. And then also a nice one on the Valeria astronaut right there. So, yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, that guy's, he's killing it. It's like, hey, he's part of the show. He has no idea. We don't even know who that is. But
No, no, yeah, that's why we said it was Rob's uncle. I don't think it is, but okay, we'll just keep going on there. That was fun, guys. So yeah, no, Rob's not going anywhere. We're just gonna work on some new. There we go, 4,000. There, 4,000. How many likes do we have? 1.1K. Okay, we're slightly off. Maybe we can get to 4K. If we get to 2K, let's put this. We get to 2K today, we'll do the astronaut one more time for you. Otherwise, we'll just save it for the next day. So that'll be the end of those animations, and we'll just move on if that's at all possible on this show, apparently. Okay, so Apple right now.
Apparently not.
You know, 158.50. You're kind of barcoding up here. I feel like with this news, I don't know if people really know what to think about it. I know that sounds crazy, but it's kind of barcoding here. Apple's not doing much. The NASDAQ's not really doing much either. So I think we'll kind of leave this alone. We only have now 15 minutes until the imbalances come out. So Apple, I still like it, and I'll buy this tomorrow. Let's see the reaction as people can, digest what this means for Apple. Tomorrow, this is probably a much better play than right now. It probably does nothing into the close. I wouldn't be worried about it falling down because the news hasn't changed unless something happens here with the NASDAQ. But I'm going to watch Apple and just, watch the account continue to grow, but nothing on the show right now. I don't think it's really worth a day trade.
I just noticed this one because it happens to be on my board. And I'm going to immediately say I do not know any possible, the reason why C3 AI is down 12%. And probably, if you're shorting, this looks like one of the better charts that you will ever see. But wow is all I got to say. So C3 AI, we've talked about some of these IPOs. And again, that effect of, well, you can always just wait and get a better price. In this particular case, just like Robinhood, and I'm going to get more context logic out. It doesn't seem like it wants to fall any further than where it is. It's getting close to the end of the day. You have an all-time low break on C3 AI, and I know because of the combination in the ticker overtake, our system actually has this old ticker, and these prices don't exist. It's debuted at $100 here, and it got more than cut in half. All-time lows on C3 AI. So, like we've been talking about, sometimes it might not, data might not come back into flavor. The gambling names might not come back into favor. The streaming, you might have to wait on some of these. And this is even getting to a point where there's going to be value picks to be had if you really like some of these names, because now you're capitulating through 43. I didn't even realize C3AI was getting this badly beaten up. All-time lows, testing $40 even today. I remember when we were trading this on the way up, I remember it breaking 130. I remember this thing testing to $190. It's just, wow. This is one I didn't realize it had come back this badly and was this week.
Yeah, we talked about that because I bought some UiPath, really? And it's very, very similar UiPath, but it's come off the bottom a little bit. I didn't want to talk about Snowflake because remember I was calling this baby Palantir? Yeah, it's not. It's adult Palantir at this point. Again, I guess this is obviously a Palantir-specific problem because look at Snowflake just continuing to go to the upside, getting tons and tons of love. This is exactly what we thought Palantir would do. I have a significantly less amount of money in Snowflake than I do in Palantir, but I should double-check the account because, again, we saw this dip down and we meant to buy on this movement. And then we did buy Snowflake breaking here. So this is where we're long Snowflake, roughly 250. I think it's 246 in change, and we haven't gotten any out. It's a small position because I was going to build it, and then it just took off, and we haven't been able to do anything. So Snowflake's another name that we own. And a name that we don't own, and you just nailed it right there with DraftKings. Not in this anymore. We emptied this out at $62, and my load back in is right here. I called 32 is this bottom here. I don't know if we're going to get to that bottom, but hey, you're about 3 days away from getting there. Look at this drop. We were just at 42 on the 15th. It's the 18th today. So could we drop $5 more? Yes, we could. And yes, we can. And yes, we will, I believe, on DraftKings. They got a new deal today and the stock didn't even go up. So watch out for DKNG here. I like this bottom, but we're going to have to wait for it. I'm a buyer of DraftKings down here near 30 or something, but I don't want to hold the bag on any of these. That's why this is just kind of like play money. The real money's in the big cap tech stocks, guys. And I think you can even buy some Nvidia today as well. Brendan, what up?
We've been talking retail all week, guys. One of the notable names coming up after market tonight, just popping up here on decent volume. Williams-Sonoma, 4.5% today. New recent highs here. Just took out day highs on volume as well. So buying this one up into earnings.
I'll talk about it quickly because I talked about when we showed the earnings board at 11 o'clock, I said Williams-Sonoma is a buy because of what Macy's and Kohl's and all that have been doing. And I think Williams-Sonoma is a better management team and executes better. So I agree. We'll look out for Williams-Sonoma tomorrow. I think that's a buy. I don't know if it goes, what is Macy's up? 15%?
It's just not fair. Like we were saying before, it's like Macy's goes up more because of the short interest, which is ironic because people shorted because they think it's overvalued. So then suddenly like a Williams-Sonoma doesn't. And again, things don't have to make sense in the market, but I think that I'm looking at Peloton because someone said in the chat it was going gangbusters.
It is.
And it is. Like it's up like now $3.
It was down 10% at one point.
Yeah, like I didn't realize it was doing this either. So.
Yeah, I don't think Peloton's. You can really buy that name either. A name that's been pretty.
I think you could if you had to step into something that's falling, like C3 AI probably before something like a Peloton, which has I think some more room to go.
I mean, I'm hella glad I did not recommend this stock for anybody. Shout out to Roku Nation as, wow, you want to talk about a haircut. I mean, there's not even anything stopping this stock right now. This has been chopped in half, more than half. Now that we look at this thing, all the way down to 335 right now on this. So yeah, been chopped down in half right now. Did I just get filled on something? No. Chopped right down in half, down to 235. Where is there? I know, Jude, if you're on here, I know you've been talking a little bit. I don't know if you have some levels, but I mean, I guess you could easily see these levels there. But I have not been impressed with Roku, and I'm not even sure. It doesn't ring a bell, earnings or anything on Roku, so I can't remember if they've come out yet. If we can, Miss V or Brendo, both extremely busy, but find out where there's the earnings play here on Roku, when and if we've missed it. I mean, it could have been in here. I mean, it's been a pretty dramatic move down. I just don't recall Roku earnings, and if Roku earnings are coming out anytime soon, man, I am not in favor of that, it's just looking pretty ugly here to the downside. Like, if they don't have enough of these things made for the holiday season, there's going to be supply chain issues. There's going to be parts and issues with the chips and the build of these things. So I don't know when Roku was November 3rd. So we've already had it. And if you do look, thanks, Brendan. If you do look right here, I highlighted this area right here. I said they've probably had earnings before, and that is November 3rd. So I guess, I talked about them missing. Obviously, they did, and probably for those reasons. So Roku all the way to the downside. I don't really see too much love here for that name. Like, those of you that are crying or worried about PayPal, like, just thank God you're not in Roku here.
Well, you know what? I have the chart up. Might as well talk about it. Someone just asked me what I think about Lemonade. I did give a rant on the earnings because this is one that I had from, and again, you talk about the whole patience thing. Like, I think part of the reason it's recency bias, right? Like, Lemonade was one that I liked. I didn't get in the IPO, and then it gave you those prices back 47 to 50. It gave it to you, so like you get accustomed to some of these issues going up and then coming down and giving you great entry points. And then you think that you're always going to have it happen to you. And I think that's the case with Lemonade. Now, I said I didn't like what they just reported. I did not like the loss ratio. I thought it was, they spent 10%. The acquisition they made represented 10% of their total market cap, which is a big dilution as well. So wait for, if you own nothing, fine. Like, it just went to this support level at 54. And then I guess it's not too far away from those lows from that 47 to 50 area. So it's not a horrible risk to reward. I think you can look at the momentum and wait for it to base out, right? Like, I think a lot of times when you're catching it on the way down, for a long term, like, if you're not actually buying Lemonade because you think the stock is going from 55, back up to $110 in 5 days. That's not the reason. It's because you actually think that they have a viable long-term business in 2 to 5 years. Now, they certainly are in a cash position that they're okay for a couple of years to turn things around. So if that's your time frame, you can wait for it to actually consolidate at a good level. So, I mean, if it holds up here at the previous 55 or 54, 55 and gives you nice consolidation, maybe breaks back out, fine. Otherwise, wait for a better price or wait for it to actually find a bit of a bottom. Don't buy in a falling story because you don't have to. If you're just looking for a quick swing or something like that, then maybe you try to time it for a bounce off 50. That's not a play I'm looking to make when the chart looks like this. Go for it when it breaks out. Right? Like, don't do it on the way down if you're trying to make that kind of a call. So, or if you're trying to time it, just play the options. But I think you can be patient with something like this because you're looking for a couple of years of a time frame, and there's no rush for a position like that. Brendan?
It was, Sean, you were asking about Teladoc, another one under big time pressure today. It was Investor Day, first off, for Teladoc. So they updated their 22 full year guidance, and it wasn't as great or rosy as everyone was talking about. But yeah, a little bit of volume here as well on this one. It's been sitting here at 122 all day long, or most of the day anyways. 8.5% still for T-Doc.
Okay, so just tweeting it out right now. Bought more T-Doc on that there, and yeah, thanks for that update. And Teledoc right down to the downside now, and you're at a little. I mean, I didn't. You know, we bought this at 134. We tweeted that out, and we just bought some more now on that play. Well, this afternoon on that play. Let's go, T-Doc. Let's go. You're back at a support level for T-Doc 120. So we'll see. You can see right into here. So we bought it at 134 and it ripped to 156, and we were loving life there. Again, it's in the longer term hold account, not a swing account for me on Teledoc. But you're right back into this 120 area. So that could be a little bit of support is what I'm thinking, 120 and change. Obviously, when it comes down, I mean, this is a relatively new name coming to market at 8. I thought it came to market at 70 or 80 there. We'll see anyways. Bounced around. It kind of looks like Palantir, where we stayed low for a while and then exploded to the upside there. Obviously, Teledoc hits 3 bills. You know, during the COVID rush, Teledoc, big business, perfect for them. They make that move to the upside. I think there's a lot of businesses switching to how healthcare is being presented and whatnot to their employees. And I do like Teledoc. And as you can see, just going back here, I mean, this is some of the work that I've already done to buy into this position. It looks a little bit like DraftKings, where you have some consolidation. This goes all the way back down to March of 2020, guys. So we only dipped down to there and then took off. So you could see heading into COVID, nice little run up. Takes a dip down to 102 or change, but finds a base at 120. And then you see what's happening today. We're right back to that 120 base again. So you could basically erase, you know, 2 years or so of an expansion move to the upside for Teledoc. And I think it's worth a buy right here, T-Doc. I don't know, man. Clover's not doing anything, and Nvidia's not really doing anything. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day with these 2 positions pending. So we'll wait on these, Nvidia and Clover, waiting to see if one of these makes a move, man. I might not get my 321.
I want to thank Omar there because in the chat, because I just had to ask if this was real. On LGVN, like this random volume spike looks like it retested that 9, because I'd be kicking myself if that was real. Like if you're gonna spike to the exact same, make it a triple top, I mean that should have obviously, even if it, you know, if it did happen, I should have been shorting it at that same level like we did before. Now, obviously, the second half of this is real. Like it did make another capitulation through $8, and you know, until it breaks 725, I wouldn't necessarily be giving up on it at the end of the day for, you know, that potential. 4 o'clock run, but it is looking rather unlikely at this point. So, you know, I'm not necessarily looking, with only 15 minutes to go, I wouldn't be shorting it at this level. I think, like, what are you going to do? Like, give it to $8? It's just, there's not much of a trade here. If you're long, what are you stopping at? $27 VWAP. I don't really see it, but you're running out of time. And if you were long from the morning, this is the area people start thinking about taking profits on something like this. But had that been real, like that would have been 100%, I would short this because the risk to reward would be good. Looks like, in fact, it was not a real print there. Oh, wait a minute. No, Omar, you're kidding? It did go? Oh, man. Oh, I was just sitting there like, I felt better if that wasn't real. So it did print up here. That is just, like, wow. Like this, and this is the thing about like a failed break. Like the bigger the failure on the break, the better the short opportunity is. When it does something like this, that you can chase. Forget about getting 75 or 80 like it did the first time. When it kind of holds up there a little bit. When it just shoots up and comes back down that hard, like you're willing to take 850. Because like, so what if you're risking 40 cents on that trade? That is such a harsh rejection that it's going to be worth it, because it should drop a lot easier past that $8 range, because it is trapped people. Like people are just trapped in that particular case, and then now they're panicking. So man, I kind of wish we had seen that one. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Brenda, what's up?
One making a late day move here. This Cardiff, we talked about this morning. CRDF up 17% still. It actually found a really nice bottom there. Around 560, I guess it was, started to head higher. Just broke 6 there. Some volume coming back in for CRDF.
Yeah, the market. I mean, someone's saying the market is a scam. Oh, it's Jackie Tucker. What's up? Yeah, they do. I mean, these algos do whatever they want. They throw a lot of money around, and they can do that. Send a letter to your state senator, whoever. But you already saw what happened with Robinhood today. That got thrown out, I guess, for Robinhood, and it was a good move. Went back to the upside there. Fisker, I mean, again, it was pick your poison on the Apple news. The king is in the building. Fisker just drops down on that news as well, but makes a bottom there. This is a great bottom for Fisker, 1950. You can look here at the days range. This is another name that I'm in and I haven't sold anything on. We're long at 17 and change. We should have got some out up here when we were into this range, but we didn't. I'm trying to get a piece out if it comes back upside. But the reason why I think that's really good that it's been holding here, unlike Clover, unlike PaySafe. Oh, someone asked, I already said, I've already bought, I doubled the position on Clover right now, one last time. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a big position because it's not, but it's decent. We'll see if Clover can go from there. But Fisker, I mean, for example, I have more money on Fisker, obviously, in the EV space, but I do like Clover down here. We'll see if it can hold 5. I don't know if it will. But down here, 1897 or so, it's good that it held. And the reason why is because you didn't want to break below this $19. Because if you break below there, then you have people that are caught up here that probably take this thing down. You talked about hedge funds and algos and all that stuff. I feel like if this gets trapped below 19, then you're going to trap everybody that's long up here and possibly create some selling back to the 200 and the 50 period moving average. They're about to cross here, normally bullish sign for the upside now, but we've already made that move to the upside for Fisker, which again is another thing here. Watch out for this name. I'm only long 3 EV. Well, if you include GM, I keep forgetting to mention GM.
Don't forget to. They're the perfect. If you have the high flying ones, to me, GM is like that perfect addition that stabilizes the portfolio because
GM's been going nuts. I mean,
it's the better. It's a simple valuation. It's exposure to the space. It's lower risk. I don't have as many. I wish I kind of had been more involved. But I literally only have Tesla and GM because it's easy for those two.
Yeah. Tesla, GM. I was gonna say Tesla, GM, Ford, and Fisker.
Well, I think you missed Ford. To me,
well, Ford was a crazy miss, but I mean, at the same time too, GM's been nice, man. I mean, whatever. The Ford, the imbalancers are out right now. We'll check those out quickly for you right now as we stop talking about Ford and let's look at.
Oh my goodness, no way! Ford is the number 1 on the imbalance. What are the odds?
Yeah, there we go. 5. 5 million. It was actually there this morning as well. So let's just check out what that did to Ford on a 1-minute chart. Ooh, I don't want to cover up the imbalances. You guys like that. Some of you are here for the imbalances. So it's not doing anything to Ford. So 5 million shares. It's only done 100 million shares today, Ford. That's a lot. Ford probably getting ready to go to the upside. You guys know if you were here early, I called the 20 short. I don't have it, but Ford's been short at 20 all day, and it continues to go. Cisco, a name that we didn't trade today. We were talking about it finding some support down there. It did at 51, so that's a good name.
That's cute.
Yep, exactly. So anybody down there, wow, Cisco, a crazy one. And then V has been beat up, not Miss V, or else we'd get involved. But Visa beat up for a little bit there, hit that 200 yesterday, and it looks like it did it again today. So just like PayPal, we'll see if we can find some love down here for Visa soon. And we'll have to look at this tomorrow. Putting this on the list for tomorrow. Apple with a little bit of a sell though, and you can see that's kind of coming back in, but not really. It touched all-time highs, 158.60, selling off a little bit into there. Nothing else that we normally trade on here. Rivian, I guess, with a sell, 500,000 shares.
That's worth a look, but Cisco is going to pair off, in my opinion. Actually, I didn't realize this, and I should have taken a closer look, but it is literally right at the 200-period moving average. And I feel like there's going to be some sellers. And that's exactly why it probably rejected that here in the morning and then rejected it in the afternoon. And a decent chance that pairs off if someone's taking advantage of selling at that particular price point. And taking advantage of liquidity at that particular price point. But at least Rivian, that's going to be worth the watch here in the imbalances. Did I just, did I hear Brendan?
No.
No?
No, not that time. You're hearing things, my friend. But that's okay.
I'm getting old, man.
Now, Brendan, what's up?
I know the future.
That was weird because you read my mind there, Neil.
Yeah, see, he just read his mind.
The New York Attorney General, along with a few others, talking about a probe into Facebook or Meta platforms, possibly. Meta just coming out saying, yeah, those accusations completely false. I mean, Facebook's not doing anything, but heads up on that, guys.
As I said, man, I want these guys to come at Facebook, but I don't know, whatever. I mean, they're not going to break it up. I mean, we're already long, so on Facebook, so hopefully there is no investigation or anything. I don't need to get longer. We're already pretty long on that name. Just an update on Nvidia, man. I don't apologize because I can't control what it winds up doing, but it's been doing absolutely nothing all afternoon since we took this trade. It did go instantly, basically in the money for us, up to 320 off this. What are we long? 317.83. We're long right here. So now I just have a basic stop in, and it's going to be, if we take out 317, we're gone. We'll be out of this one. We'll take that 80 cent or $1 hit. And at the same time, we have a $1 target. So if we can get 318.80, we'll take that. So let's see what Nvidia does here in the next 7 minutes. It's either going to give us a $1 winner or a $1 loser. And it's not a big position because the plan was to average into this trade. And back down here to these lows, doesn't look like that happened. Your chance to buy Nvidia, I hope, is not over with. You could come in tomorrow to a 325 or so print. We'll wait to see what happens now. Maybe the imbalances can turn a little bit here, heading at 355 for the next update.
So, I mean, I'm definitely kicking myself over Lucid now because I think I typed earlier in the chat, it's like, oops, I should probably have a 43 long on Lucid if I was looking for a bottom pick. Well, that would have been okay if we actually put the position on. Really, I hope, hopefully somebody was taking this, because the thing about the Lucid drop, like, it's not just like 62 all the way down to like the 40s, but if you look at what happened at this level around this 43 support that it had, is you already had a capitulation through this price. And it's not so much that it cratered 10% from there, it then gapped up and then held the previous support. So a lot of times when you have, like, previous resistance into a consolidation break, then a support, when it does a break like this and just says, hold my beer, that didn't even happen, you just throw it all out. And then you just go back and say, this is a level, and forget about the fact that it was even there at any point, and then just dig into it. So I know when I was shorted, I was sort of saying that's where it should be the out, or earlier this morning we were talking about that, but instead of, I didn't get the short there because I was shorting SEV and Rivian, and that's, pick your poison. All three wouldn't even make any sense. It's like choose one and then just trade that. I ended up choosing two because I thought SEV was a bit different. But then we bottom picked first time on Lucid at 45 and should have had this 43 long. There's almost no excuse for it. I tend to think it could run into some resistance at 49 or maybe even 50. It's not going to, probably won't get there in the next 5 minutes, but definitely tomorrow could be a level to watch. Brendan, this time I did hear a call and it was real, so that's good. Earnings.
Yeah, a few to get to tonight. We are getting to the end overall of reporting season, guys, but some notable names tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're talking about Palo Alto just because of what happened with CrowdStrike earlier, and that's why I think you want to be cautious with Pandub there, because Palo Alto CrowdStrike got absolutely shellacked on their earnings earlier this week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. So you want to watch out for Palo Alto, because I'll tell you right now, like, they're obviously the better company. It's just, if they disappoint, I mean, you can stick a pin in CrowdStrike, that's for sure. And we'll see what happens there. I think that's one worth watching. There was one name that you were saying, now it's bugging me because it was a name you liked on that board and they just took it away.
We'll put it back up. We can put the earnings board back up and we'll have a look there. I didn't even have a chance.
Usually
I was just adjusting my Clover because I noticed Clover ripped up there. I was going to wait for 64s, but then I looked at the time, and that's what I was doing when you stood there. Only 4 minutes left. We'll see if we get out at 61 now. Do we have the earnings board one more time?
It's Williams-Sonoma.
Oh, Williams-Sonoma, that's what it was. Yeah, WSM. So good call there. That was a name that I've been liking here today. I think they execute better than Macy's, and we'll just see, Macy's, right. And we'll see there, Macy's up 22% today. I don't think that happens for Williams-Sonoma, but again, I still think we take out all-time highs tomorrow on this name. I don't know if that 330 was real there, but I definitely think we're higher than this tomorrow. So 218, I like Williams-Sonoma. Nvidia is very, very close to getting knocked. There it goes. We're knocked out on that. So we'll just flush ourselves down the toilet on that trade, but I don't know, whatever. So we finish with a slight LFT, but I'm waiting. If we can get this, man, I've been sitting here waiting in line. Hopefully we can get an out here on Clover, and that would be nice. So if we can get an out on Clover, that'll help that Nvidia trade. But right now, Clover looks like it's going back to the downside. It's only a 3-cent winner, but again, equal amount of shares. You got to take that into consideration on small profits for, I trade this with a much different share size, obviously, than we would trade Nvidia. So hopefully we can get 3 pennies on this and be happy and finish the day with only 2.5 minutes left here. We'll see if we can get this filled.
So I have like written down for the entire week, AMAT 160, and you can see what's happening. I swear they report. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought they reported tonight. Maybe, I don't know. They do? Yeah, AMAT is reporting. So I thought this was a great play in the chip supplier space when I guess the shortage came through. That's been a good one. I trimmed probably too much and not believing in it enough. But at the end of the day, I think they have a gorgeous chance to break out AMAT here, certainly. We'll see what happens. With only 2 minutes to go, Prad actually just messaged us saying Airbnb WTF, and this is like just now. Was there an imbalance on Airbnb, because it just popped $2 right into the high on significant volume going into the close. So it's up a couple of percent after a wipeout bottom. What a recovery Airbnb has had today. I don't see it on the imbalance locator. So it looks like it was just a generic late day breakout, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Ford's here. We did that yoo-hoo because we got 61s on Clover. So small LFT still to end the day. Ford with the buy imbalance. Pinterest is there. XOM. And by the way, we called this short at 64.65. That's working out. Peloton still with the sell side here as we're getting ready to go. And yeah. Chart's not loading up, but there's Peloton. You see, sometimes the imbalances don't mean anything as Peloton going back to the upside. What a great washout bottom that was at $45. With only a few minutes to go, we got 1.2K likes, so that's not bad. We will get some more animations. Working on those animations for you. Hopefully get them early next week. We'll have that at some point. With only 40 seconds to go, it's Miss V.
There she is.
There she is on the bell as we move out of the way there. And that should be exciting with only 30 seconds now to go. And thank God, Miss V wore the green today. And you can see the markets 1% up on the NASDAQ and a beautiful 0.3% up on the ES. And I can't wait to see what Brazil's doing.
Probably down 1.74%. I'm gonna guess Brazil is down.
Okay,
because usually it's like if we have an update, Brazil is it's just always down. That's just how it works. Ms. V is waiting for Rob to lower the bell as we drop the countdown. There we go. 7, 6, 5. You guys can see it right there. Ms. V, give us a ring.
Something funny happened there? Okay, so there we go. And
this is love-hate relationship.
This is what we deal with. Great end of the show, I think. I think we had a good last 2 hours there. Let's go over right now to see how those markets wound up, Brendo.
Everyone's very excited to see what Brazil did today. So I won't make you wait. Here we go. This is a mixed board overall. I mean, the Dow ends up red, the NASDAQ all apple, but 0.3 for the S&P. So back to the upside once again, outside of the Dow. Yeah, there it is, Brazil down 0.8. Crude higher today, but crypto's in the red as well, guys.
A little off, Neil. You
but like, that's not a little off.
Yeah, oil down. Oh, oil up 0.61. I thought it was down. Normally when oil goes down or nat gas, Brazil will go down as well.
What holds up the BOVESPA when, whatever. It says you guys don't care.
I don't know what holds up. Maybe, I don't know, Pele or something. What's up? Thank you to Trader Prad over there, rocking it today. Thank you so much, Trader Prad. And also, thank you so much to Ms. V, always. We think we work a lot. Miss V's on all 3 shows, man. The morning, the afternoon, and the close. So thank you to Miss V for that one as well. Rob had a lot of energy today. I think he's working a little bit overtime there. So thank you to Rob as he does that now. Lucas and Maggie, you know, the only ones working as per usual, I guess there. And so a big thank you to all of you guys. You guys know we're just playing with Rob. Everybody loves Rob.
Wheeling and dealing over there.
Someone just said, there goes William Sonoma. I hope I'm the right way on this one. I don't have a position. I just thought that, oh no, nothing happened to William Sonoma there. 219, 1 minute chart. Maybe it's out, but I don't really see any reactions to it now. Neil, your AMAT, I hope you trimmed a little more than that as AMAT right now to the downside. These early moves don't mean anything though.
Oh, that's a Greg trade right here.
There goes, yeah, we'll see there. All the way down to 148 there. AMAT missing, it looks like. Nothing else coming across.
You get punished if you don't beat. You have to beat. You've got to beat.
Yeah.
That's the stink trade.
Matt, there it is, all the way down. If you could see the chart, we're down here at 150 off of a 160 close. So we'll wait for that one. But thank you so much, man. It's been a very, very good day here. We're all pretty exhausted. Neil, have a great 4-day weekend. Like, lucky guy. Mine are coming up, so we'll be celebrating that as well. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Pew Pew is in the building tomorrow. So he won't be wearing his fancy shirt because that's his at-home shirt.
And he's also, the other day, he said he's willing to sometimes now pay for shorts. So there you go.
He is, because he paid for them one day, and I actually don't think he traded whatever it was that day. It might have been the Rivian IPO day.
But he paid for it.
But he did pay for it.
That's growth, man.
Yep, that is growth. So thank you, Arun. We love Arun. He'll be here tomorrow. Neil shaved the head. Neil just got a haircut, man. What are you guys talking about there? Maybe I should shave my head. Prad has a bet. If you can get 3K likes on Meme and Movers, Prad's going blonde there. And if we can get 5K likes on this show, Brendan's going blonde as well.
Nope.
Okay, well.
Not even like Petetra?
I tried, guys. Stay tuned for the trade of the day. Should be a good one. It was on SG, so you can see how that wounds up going there. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, Neil. And we'll be back tomorrow at 8:30, Trader TV Live.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.